They hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. Yeah. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on the jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Starting all bad like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else, I had to set them straight, yeah. I had to ball, so I had to renovate, I know. They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah. I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. Yeah. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. Oh yeah. Why they wanna bring me down? So much drip, yeah. I almost drowned in it. I can't come it down. Yeah, I'm way too fired up. I can't slow down. Oh yeah. I see the flashing lights. Make sure the fashion right, yeah. I'm in my bag tonight, yeah. Oh, I might just pull up a foreign. Watch out, the engine is roaring. It's too loud, you can ignore it. Yeah. This the highlights for the few. You can have it all, no need to choose. First, let me demonstrate how you can rise to the top. Yeah, I had to elevate. They hate when you elevate. Elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah, I had to elevate.
All right. All right. I see a couple people coming in the building. A lot to talk about tonight. It's Super Bowl week. And you know how it is. There's a lot going on this week, and we got some fights coming on this week. It's going to be a very interesting fight card this week. We got all types of things happening in the news. We got Conor BENN. We've got Tank Davis. We've got a big card going on with TEOFIMO. We're going to go through a lot of stuff today, guys. So bring it in. Salute to everybody who's in the room so far. We got a couple people in the room. Big fight this week. Beautiful card, to be honest with you guys, man. When you really look at the card, considering that it's free, right? Well, is it free? If you have an ESPN subscription, it'll be free to you, obviously, ESPN Plus. But we've got Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz headlining a big card, WBO title on the line. We've got KEYSHAWN Davis also coming at Jose Pedraza. That's going to be a huge fight as well. And we got some good prospects on the undercard as well. Weigh-ins are done, press conferences are done, and let's see how we feel about it. You know, salute to everybody in the room. Don't see anybody in the chat saying what's up yet, but salute to Jackie Nannis for stopping by a little earlier. Mind of Mansa Musa up in the building a little bit earlier. So what's going to happen on this card today? I think everybody understands that on paper. When you're looking at the full spectrum of Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz, I think on paper it's clear that Teofimo Lopez does have the higher pedigree, it looks like on paper. Beyond look like, let's say he does. It's not just what it looks like, it is what it is, right? But we have some other things that we're dealing with when we're looking at a Teofimo Lopez. We've got certain dysfunctionalities that are possibly going on inside of his camp, maybe between him and his father, maybe the relationship that's going on there, maybe his relationship with maybe his relationship as well with boxing, being that he had retired and now he's back, and now he's back in boxing and supposedly re-energized. One second here. Shout out to my boy, my co-host Ray Davis, who has to put us in a remote location today. He's dealing with a thing on his side.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my stuff on mute. Oh, you muted me? I'm gonna put everything on
yeah,
mute.
Sorry about
it is.
Noise,
everyone. I'm gonna do my best to chime in and try to keep the noise down. But yeah, all right. I'll try to keep it down.
No problem. So salute to Jonathan 97, salute to Mr. Pragmatic in the building, salute to you guys. Yeah, as I was saying, things outside, intangible things that are going to be affecting this fight that we are not going to be able to really get the answers into these things until we see it. Mr. Pragmatic says T.O. and KEYSHAWN for the win. Yeah, I guess we can root for them, definitely. We definitely can root for them. But let's look at this fight for what it is, right? Teofimo, an athletic fighter who's going to be looking to counter punch while Jermaine Ortiz is punching, using his athleticism to get Jermaine Ortiz off his square. And Jermaine Ortiz is going to be trying to stay disciplined and keep this fight in front of him, not allow T.O. to just move around, also apply a little bit of decent pressure to him, and see if he can get some mistakes. Salute the frequent flyer. Trying to get this guy to make some mistakes. And we're going to have to see how that works out, because at the end of the day, I could tell you this, a Teofimo Lopez who's not 100%, I don't know if that Teofimo Lopez, a 75% Teofimo Lopez beats 110% Jermaine Ortiz, because Jermaine does look very focused, eye of the tiger. He understands what's riding on this fight. If he wins this fight, this is also a redemption fight for him as well, right, guys? I mean, he lost against Vasily Lomachenko, and a lot of people felt like he won that fight. A lot of arguments out there for him winning that fight. A win over Teofimo Lopez would give him some redemption, right? It would kind of clarify any doubt that anybody had about that Lomachenko fight. Some people might want to cement the win over Lomachenko if he was able to beat Teofimo, being that Teofimo did beat Lomachenko, although the triangle theory has been proven to not actually work, but still, redemption still lies in him. Ortiz looks focused, most definitely. Jonathan 97, he does look focused. My question is, does Teofimo look focused? I know we've had discussions about the way he's been talking going into this fight, as far as whether or not he is focused. He has been speaking a little bit past Jermaine Ortiz, talking about fights, with the Terrence Crawfords and how he plans on saving boxing. So much, on his shoulders, but not a lot of talk about Jermaine Ortiz himself. So is the focus there where it needs to be? Is the focus there where it needs to be to beat Jermaine Ortiz? You could look at it one of both ways, right? The one way you could look at it is that he's looking past him, and Jermaine Ortiz is so focused on him, it could be a bad day or a bad night for Teofimo. But at the same time, if Teofimo is that focused on having this career, because that's what I'm looking at it, right? I'm looking at it as if Teofimo's making it clear that it's not a payday situation for him, that he's actually coming back into this fight with a whole game plan on really having a second chapter in his career where he's doing a redemption campaign, right? Where he's shown that he's the best. That, I'm going to be fighting Terrence Crawford. I want to be fighting I'm going to fight the best fighters out there. I'm going to show them what this is all about. It's not just about money. And somebody that focused has to take into consideration how important this fight is. And if he's aligning all those things, we might have 100% Teofimo in the ring that night, and Teofimo should win the fight, in my opinion. I'm not going to lie. I personally have it right now. I'm still leaning towards Teofimo to take this win, probably like an 8-4, 8-4, 7-5 if it's really close. But for Jermaine Ortiz, if he wins this fight, I see him at, something like a 7-5, maybe an 8-4, but more like a 7-5. Very close fight at the end of the day. I think one thing's for sure, two things for certain. We're going to have a very competitive fight, one way or the other, Thursday night, and that's good for boxing. That's good for us as boxing fans, right? And then on the co-main event, we have KEYSHAWN Davis, who's also going to be fighting, and he's going to be going against Jose Pedraza. This a fight that was pushed out, right? A fight that was supposed to happen. That was supposed to happen months ago, but got pushed out because KEYSHAWN had some issues with a little bit of, I don't want to say substance abuse, because I think that's calling it a little too big. I'm just going to say he was smoking a little weed, right? He popped on a test, actually had a fight against Nahir Albright, actually pulled away from him, taken away as a no contest, and actually lost this opportunity to fight Pedraza. So on a second opportunity to fight Jose Pedraza, to actually make this fight a fight that removes him from out of the prospect position and push him into contender position. So this is a big fight for him. KEYSHAWN coming into this fight, I believe about 11, if I'm correct, about 11 wins, no, 9 wins, 6 by knockout. And Jose Pedraza been on a little bit of a, since the Gervonta Tank Davis really career just been up and down, right? Coming in at, let me see here, we have him at 24 wins, 5 losses, and like 14 knockouts. So Jose Pedraza was coming in the more decorated fighter. He is the contender in this match. But I think most gambling sites, have KEYSHAWN up for the win. I see him going for the win as well, but I do have questions about how KEYSHAWN's new view on life. Sometimes I was talking to a friend of mine a little bit earlier today about how boxers sometimes improve in their personal life, but it seems like the improvements in their personal life can sometimes hurt them inside the ring. Like, what had them being so dominant in that ring was all the dysfunctionality that they were entertaining. And when they removed the dysfunctionality, examples like Deontay Wilder, or even the way Jermell Charlo performed against Canelo Alvarez, seeming that the more calmer he got, the more it seemed like he was down to earth. He just lost something, lost a little bit of bite going into the fight. And it reflected in a negative way on their boxing career. I question how this is going to affect KEYSHAWN Davis. Salute, Blue Blood in the building. Salute, 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 salute. Appreciate you showing up for me, man. Just seeing how that's going to affect KEYSHAWN Davis. Ray, you on? You want to say salute to somebody? You want to talk about? You good? I don't hear you, brother. All right. So just trying to see how that's going to affect him. Just going to see how that affects him in the match. Is he going to be a better fighter, a more disciplined fighter? A lot of people have talked about KEYSHAWN Davis as sometimes being a little reckless, leaving himself a little open to opportunities for people to counterpunch him. I mean, honestly, when he fought against Nahir, it was a very competitive fight. A very competitive fight. I mean, KEYSHAWN won. I think the decision went the right way, but some people might say that there were certain things that might have been a little exposed for him. Yo, salute Ralph. Salute Jonathan 97 again. I don't know if you're saying salute to Ralph for me, because I already said what's up to you a little bit earlier. But so let's see how that affects him. Yeah, I definitely hear you. You wanted to say something?
Okay, is it background noise still? Yeah, I was gonna say salute to everybody in the chat. I don't know if the background noise is still there. I tried to mask it as much as I can, so let me know how I'm doing.
It's there, but if you're talking, we hear it less.
All right. I got you. So I'm gonna mute it until you need me.
Okay.
Of course, Yeah,
you're breaking up bad, Ray. You're not coming in good. The sound's not good. So, all right. So yeah, let's see how that affects KEYSHAWN Davis going into this fight. If he's able to, improve. If him not partaking in the recreational activities, right, that he was partaking in, and see if there's more of a focus there. Let's see if he gets a little more defensive, responsible in a defensive way. He's fighting a game veteran with a lot of experience, and he's gonna have to bring that into this match to make sure that nothing goes wrong in the last minute, because this is the type of fighter who can take advantage of those holes in his game. So he seems like he's in good spirits. Both of them came in pretty good. I think KEYSHAWN came in at 134.7 and Pedraza came in at 134.5. So both these guys are in shape and ready to show out. I expect to see a very competitive fight there as well. I am leaning towards KEYSHAWN Davis, obviously, to take this win, and I'm actually hoping to see him stop Pedraza, right? I want to see him kind of make a statement, because this is kind of a statement fight for him, being that he's moving out of that out of that prospect category, and he's moving into a contender category. What is this saying here? Ralph says, let's see. Ralph says, do you feel that T.O.'s overlooking Jermaine, talking about other guys like Bud and Haney? Look, Ralph, I was talking about that a little bit earlier. He is kind of speaking past him. He's making it sound like this is bigger than Jermaine Ortiz. This is about boxing and him saving boxing and him wanting to fight harder fights against Terrence Crawford and things of that nature. But at the same time, what I said a little bit earlier was, if he includes the fact that winning this fight is the most important thing for him to do right now in order for him to pursue those goals that he has, then it might not be a negative thing. This might actually be a good thing. It might be fueling him, and he might be more focused than he looks like he is on Jermaine Ortiz, understanding that he cannot slip in this fight, that this is the most important fight. Sometimes when people come in, hey, salute, Tom, salute. Sometimes when people come into fights, you have to question what their agenda is, what their goal is. Are they trying to just make some money and they're going to go back into retirement, just kind of fade in and out, or somebody have long-term goals? It seems that TEOFIMO has long-term goals. Like, he's back. He's not talking about retirement. He's actually talking about, he's literally quoting from him, saving boxing, right? That's what he plans on doing. So he might be more focused than we might be taking into consideration. We just got to see how it turns out and how his thought process right now manifests in the ring. He's calm. He doesn't seem like his nerves are racked too much. He seems like he's focused on being calm and focused on being who he needs to be for this fight. So let's see how that turns out. See what that turns out for him. Ray, did you want to say something, or you just, because you kind of came in and out?
Yeah. I'm testing. Like I said, I'm trying to test out to see how it's working with the background. I'm trying to see my voice change. I'm trying to match the microphone because I got a lot of background noise. Yeah, so as far as T.O., in my opinion, everybody, I'm sorry that I'm not going to be my regular situation, but I do apologize for that and the inconvenience of not having a beautiful voice, man's voice at that. On the chat. So as far as the fight goes with T.O. and Jermaine, I 100% agree with you. I do see the upset here. I think I'm calling it since December with you, that I think Jermaine has the ability of beating him due to the fact he has a jab that knows how to create distance.
Ray, it's coming in real bad.
Trouble. All right. So then I'm gonna put that. See what I can do, man.
All right. Yeah, let me know, man. It's real bad. Not the noise in the background as much as your connection. Like, I'm not hearing your voice. You're breaking up a lot. All right. So yeah, guys. So we'll see how that turns out. It's going to be interesting to see this T.O. This can go one of both ways. It can be T.O. giving us another Josh Taylor performance, just moving on from the momentum of that performance, really having a high level of confidence. Another question is, if when Jermaine Ortiz, because in my opinion, I believe Jermaine Ortiz will give T.O. issues at some point in the fight. T.O.'s going to have to adjust, and he's going to have to deal with this pressure that Jermaine's going to put on him. I think Jermaine understands. S-Phil 04. Yeah, that's what I told him. Definitely. So he's going to work on that. But Jonathan 97 says it goes 12 rounds. So at some point in this match, TEOFIMO is going to have to understand that's going to come down to winning rounds. He's going to have to understand that Jermaine Ortiz is not just going to go away. He's not going to do whatever he feels like doing with Jermaine Ortiz, and it's going to become a disciplined fight for him. And how does he react to that? In the Josh Taylor fight, he had a lot of fun in that fight, right? He had a lot of fun. And he's not, maybe it can happen in this fight, but I think Jermaine is just, he's an athlete within himself. He can switch hit. He can adjust. When there's issues, he's going to address the issues. He's not going to sit there and just fight one way and just keep on fighting a losing battle. He will give issues. He will give adversity to T.O., and we're going to see where that mental strength kicks in at that point. At that point, will the mental strength kick in and T.O. be able to adjust and still hang in there and win these rounds? In my opinion, outside of Lomachenko, this is going to be the hardest fight that TEOFIMO's probably ever had. And we got to see a strong a strong mentality to get him through this. Yo, salute Inevitable D Block. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Ortiz should, let's see here. Phil says Ortiz should make Tio come to him. Listen, good. I like Phil. That is true. I think if he attacks Tio, that he's given Tio a lot of opportunities. You know, I think that would be heaven for Tio, for Jermaine Ortiz to just be trying to attack him, because he would just be clipping him, catching him. You know, counter punches would just be crazy. He'd make him look foolish. I think Jermaine does have to have some, and I think he will. I think there's a good chance he will. These guys have a history in Golden Gloves and amateurs. You know, they have an understanding. Jermaine has an understanding of who Teofimo is to a degree. He seems like he's been studying for a minute and kind of anticipating them colliding at some point in the professional arena. So there's some history there, but I agree with you. I do believe that Jermaine Ortiz is going to have to be patient. He's going to want to put pressure, but he's going to put intelligent pressure on him. Just don't let him do whatever he wants to do, but at the same time, don't overextend yourself and attack him. Let's see here. Salute Bruce Gass. Really appreciate you sliding through here. Really do appreciate you. All right. So CK Ray actually sent some information here. He says, Clay, I believe Tio is overlooking Jermaine Ortiz. The ability of Ortiz to create the problems we saw with Tio, the jab, the athleticism. I see the 8th round stoppage on Ortiz due to the frustration. So Ray's actually got an upset happening here. He believes that, you know, the frustration that Jermaine Ortiz is going to bring to Tio is going to bring some confusion and frustration, and that Tio just won't adjust to it well. You know, maybe he'll break. Maybe all that he's working on to be mentally strong can be broken. And shout out Herring Symbol. Shout out to the brother. He says, Herring Symbol says, shout out my brother Ray Davis. Yeah, Ray Herring said, what's up? Let's see. Ralph, Tio don't like coming forward and cutting off the ring against the fighter. He likes to stand back and be flashy with his counters. Yes, Ralph, like I said a little bit earlier, right? Tio likes to have fun in that ring. He does like to have fun in there. And I don't see that being a smart move against Jermaine Ortiz. And I'm wondering if he can adjust away from that if he has to and win these rounds. Bite down, show that grit, and win these rounds. Definitely. I definitely agree with you, though. That's what he likes to do. In a perfect world, Tio just wants to stand back. He wants to just be flashy with his counters. He wants to show everybody it's easy. He wants to, like he said, to take over. He wants to have the big show. The big showman's in the building. I think that can be dangerous against a Jermaine Ortiz, somebody who's disciplined, like him, who knows what you just said right there, could take advantage of something like that. Let's see here. Phil says Ortiz had success with check hooks and step back counters. An upset is really possible. Definitely, Phil. Definitely. Oh, it says Phil, but this is Sean. Sean, what's up, man? I see your picture. I'm calling you Phil. But yeah, you're right, man. Ortiz does have success with those check hooks. Listen, Ortiz is a disciplined fighter. Let's remember the Ortiz that fought against Lomachenko. This guy has the IQ. He's not a brute. He's not just going to go in there swinging. I heard him say in an interview that he's coming to take Tio's head off. And I said to myself, one, I hope he doesn't mean that in a way where that means he's going to be too aggressive. But two, also, you know, talk is talk. He understands and he respects, I believe, that that Lopez has a very high IQ in boxing. He knows who he's dealing with. He knows he's dealing with a boxer's boxer, a pound for pound fighter, and he knows how great this win will be, and he knows not to overextend himself. But I hope he doesn't respect Tio so much that he freezes, right? That he freezes in the ring. He still needs to have the courage to move forward with his game plan and be confident in the skills he brings to the table. And if he does that, and if Teofimo sleeps at any point in the game, he gives an opportunity for a big upset. I think this fight's going to be very competitive, more competitive than I think a lot of people are willing to admit. Shout out to Mazuma TV in the building. Shout out to the Clay clan in the building. Salute, brother. Salute. I appreciate you. Definitely, man. Shout out. So I think the fight's going to be very competitive, guys. And it can go either way. Once again, I am leaning towards Teofimo. I like what I'm seeing. I know he looks crazy, and I know the things he says can be cringe. In particular, there was a actual interaction between him and KEYSHAWN Davis at the press conference yesterday. I thought it was a very interesting little sidebar conversation going there, and it kind of showed that Teofimo, to me, it showed Teofimo was grounded and kind of focused a little bit. He handled it in a very genuine way, and to me, it's just like, I don't know how to take it. Although he's cringe with the things that he says, if he's found a way to get over whatever mental issues he had going on with boxing, and now he's found this even level playing field where he can be competitive, but at the same time not let the outside world get to him. I think that's what he might need to be competitive in a fight like this, and that's what he's found. We might be seeing a very focused, very impressive performance from Teofimo Lopez tomorrow night. Let me see. Let me go down here. Let's see. Tom says 50-50 or 60-40 fight. Tom, me personally,
how much?
Go ahead, Ray. You want to say something?
Yeah, no. I definitely more of a 65, 35 fight. I think Tio is a champion, and he's been at this level before. And the fact that Ortiz only has some, he only had one opportunity to shine. But I do see, like I said, I do see Ortiz looks hungry, like very hungry.
Right. This is an intangible fight, guys. And what I mean by intangible is, on paper it may look however it looks, but the intangibles being heart, will, grit, mental strength, these things that can't really just be measured on paper, that can only be measured in performance and who the person is going to make a difference in this fight. The question is Tio there? Jermaine Ortiz, I don't believe there's a question there. I think he checks that box. He's mentally strong. He will be in this fight every round, whether or not he's winning rounds. No, if he's down rounds, until this match is over, Jermaine Ortiz is going to be in this fight, and he's going to be trying to win. And any opportunity that Tio gives him, he can make him pay. Jermaine can make him pay. He's athletic. He has conditioning. Another thing that Jermaine Ortiz has to be sure that he does in this fight is he needs to make sure that the second half of this fight is unlike other fights he's had in the past. Jermaine Ortiz has a habit of pulling his foot off the gas in the second half of his fights. And in this fight right now, what I'd like to see him is, I'd actually like to see him switch a gear, hit another gear in the second half of this fight. It's going to make a big difference in his ability to convince those judges that he's the winner of this fight. If he's not able to stop Teofimo Lopez, it's going to really count for him. Let me see. Heron Symbol says 70-30. I'm assuming Teofimo 70. And I'm assuming that you got Jermaine Ortiz with 30, and Jonathan 97 has it 60-40. I'm assuming once again for Teofimo getting that 60% and Jonathan, excuse me, I said Jonathan, and Jermaine Ortiz getting that 40%. I think on paper it is. I think it is what it is on paper, right? On paper, it's hard to go against Teofimo. He just has had the better resume. He's had the better challenges. He's had the better fights, the better looks. Jermaine's had some good fights against Herring, obviously against Lomachenko. He's had some good fights, but this is also Jermaine Ortiz's first fight at 140 pounds. So we got to see how that power manifests, how that pop, how that conditioning translates into going up 5 more pounds. All right, so we got that. We got KEYSHAWN Davis also fighting against Jose Pedraza. We know how that's got to work. There's a lot of other things going on. We're going to get to it, and we might as well get to it. We're going to talk about it. I just wanted to make sure I covered this fight. We will be doing a live. I'll be doing a live. I think Ray will be here for it as well. I'm pretty sure he will be on the fight tomorrow. We'll be covering the fight. We're going to do things a little bit differently because I do like to cover these fights and comment, do commentary on these fights. And it seems like when we open the panels up, we get a little off track a little bit. So that will be more of me and Ray really breaking down the fight, and we'll probably have an open panel towards the end of that evening, but we'll address that when it comes down to that. So what's in the news today? Well, first of all, also wanted to address one more thing with the Teofimo Lopez situation. So we all know Teofimo's cringe, and he likes to say things, and sometimes people can either get it straight or take it off context. But he mentioned something about Puerto Rican fighters. You guys familiar with that? Guys heard about the whole entire Puerto Rican fighters are easy to beat? I know one person who definitely heard it, and that's Mazuma. I know Mark definitely heard him when he said that. You know what I mean? he was questioned about that at the press conference, and he pretty much put an argument out there that I'm going to choose to believe, right? I'm going to choose to believe that he has respect for the Puerto Rican, what Puerto Ricans have done in boxing, on the accomplishments of Puerto Ricans. And he basically said that just presently right now, as far as Puerto Ricans are concerned, all of them are easy to beat. And I'll go one step deeper in there, or one step higher, whatever, however you want to look at it. And I'll say that he was speaking probably specifically towards Jamaine Ortiz's Puerto Rican heritage, as well as Subriel Matias. People that are especially Subriel Matias, somebody who everybody really wants to see him fight. They think that he kind of moved around in a funny way to kind of get around fighting Subriel Matias, putting out a challenge to fight Subriel Matias when Subriel was hurt and wasn't going to be able to make this card. I don't think that's necessarily it. If one thing's for certain, two things for sure, I don't feel like TEOFIMO is ducking any smoke. I think he's willing to fight anybody in boxing, no matter how it looks from the outside looking in, how he deals with getting money, how he deals with his own value. Sometimes it seems like he's overpricing himself a little bit, pricing himself out of certain opportunities. I don't think that's necessarily what it is. I'm going to say that he's willing to fight everybody, but I don't believe that he has any issues with Puerto Ricans or things of that nature. I think that was a troll thing that he was doing. He was baiting and speaking out to people that he could be competing with in the future that are Puerto Rican, and just letting you know that none of those guys are going to seem to be an issue for him, or going to be easy, even if once they do fight. Right? Commenting on that. In the news, we all know it. We all see what's going on with Conor Benn. Why did I say Conor McGregor? Conor Benn and Gervonta Tank Davis and Devin Haney, and this whole entire situation just seems to be just blowing up. It just seems every week it seems like another layer of nonsense going on. So what's happening now? So supposedly since the Conor Benn fight, it seems as if Gervonta Tank Davis has found some interest in potentially fighting Conor Benn. We all know Conor Benn fights at normally is a 147-pound fighter. He competed at 150 pounds, 150.6 pounds on his last fight, and was actually before that preparing himself to fight against who? Chris Eubank Jr. Right? I think they were going to do a catch weight, or they were going to fight around 154 pounds. And so he got used to being big. He's a big guy. And on the night of the fight, he rehydrated up to over 170 pounds that night. And regardless of what that looked like, Gervonta didn't see that as an issue, and said he'd be willing to fight. Conor Benn. Well, obviously the whole space went crazy. And the first thing that comes out is, if you can do that, how are you not able to fight Devin Haney? Right? How are you not able to fight Devin Haney? I put a little video out on how I felt about the situation. I won't go too deep into it, but just to say that, a lot of the Tank fan base have really been pushing this narrative that there's a weight bullying issue, that one of the big things with Devin Haney was that he himself rehydrated up to 165 pounds a night of his fight against Regis Prograis. And they said that just was not going to be realistic, and that it wouldn't have been fair for Tank to be fighting somebody that big on fight night, that there'd have to be some sort of catch weight, and that Devin Haney would have to be willing to concede to something like that. Well, I think that's been put to bed right at this point. As far as Tank Davis being scared of Devin Haney, I'm not ready to say that myself, but I do think it's fair to bring that up and take that into consideration. But I will say one thing: I'm not going for the weight thing anymore. I don't think that's going to work anymore. We're not going to be dealing with weight bullying topics, or him needing to come down to 135 to fight Gervonta or anything like that. If you're willing to go ahead and compete against Conor Benn at almost 170 pounds that night, not even think twice about it, we're not going to go with the weight bullying thing anymore. I would ask everybody in the chat what they thought about it. Do they think that Gervonta is, correct and well in his right to move the way he's moving right now? Or if he were to go ahead and fight Conor Benn, how would you guys feel about the Devin Haney issue? How would you feel about it? Does that make sense to you guys? Is that a legacy fight? Conor Benn has never been a champion. He's never been a pay-per-view star. He's never headlined any pay-per-views. What does he bring to the table for a Gervonta Tank Davis? What exactly benefits Gervonta in his career legacy-wise? Is he bringing him the most money? I don't think he's bringing him more money than Devin Haney. I don't think he's bringing him more money than a lot of fighters. Lomachenko, even Manny Pacquiao, right? A lot of fighters. I mean, at the end of the day, if Gervonta Tank Davis is looking to fight Conor Benn, my question is why? Why would he be looking to fight Conor Benn? What's the win for him in that situation? Some people might say he's cherry picking a little bit, right? Some people might say he's cherry picking a little bit, that he's seen some weaknesses in Conor Benn and that he's flat footed. Oh, he just wants to come forward. Oh, he wants to just throw power headshots. Oh, I can deal with that all day. That's my kind of fight. Yeah, let me call this guy out. Some people might say that, right? Other people might say it's just him being petty and going against Devin Haney, just trying to take a fight away from Devin Haney, being that it seems like Eddie Hearns has been trying to line up a fight between Conor Benn and Devin Haney. Even had Bill Haney come up to the panel at the press conference and kind of do a little introduction. It was, and Bill just saying he's open to negotiation for a fight at some point. Let me see here. Next Generation Combat Sports TV says Devin ain't get that fight because Bill be talking crazy. LOL. And maybe. You know what I'm saying? I think you got to be right. To a degree. I think it's fair to say that Bill Haney's been frustrating, to say the least, to Gervonta Tank Davis, to the whole entire to the whole entire fighting community too. You got a lot of fans out here who are just not feeling the energy that Bill Haney was putting out there. But let me ask you guys something. Isn't it way better and easier to shut down and to really shut Bill Haney up? Wouldn't it just be easier to just send out an offer to Devin Haney and then knock Devin Haney out? Isn't that like the sweetest revenge? I think that's one of the advantages about boxing, about fighting, right? Somebody can piss you off and really get under your skin, but not too many sports or jobs or arenas out there do you have the opportunity to really settle your score in the most, back in the day way of just let's fight, right? Let's fight. So I don't know, man. Maybe I agree with you. I think maybe Gervonta is dealing with Devin Haney in a I'm going to starve you out type of situation. Dealing with Bill Haney, like Bill, you're pushing my buttons. I know I'll be giving you the biggest payday you ever had. So what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure you don't get that payday. Maybe that is what's happening here. I don't know. Let's see. To cut Devin off, and take one of his big fights away. Yeah, that's what I was saying too. Next Gen, maybe that is what it is. Bradley says he has the right to pick his fight. I'm assuming. Is that what you were saying, Bradley? I'm assuming, Bradley, you said he has the right to pick his fight. Yeah, he definitely does. Let's see what Ray has to say to that. Ray says crazy that all the followers was the total mouthpiece for Tank Davis, but he seems to be telling the fans he can all they say he can't do. I'm assuming you're saying he can do everything that they say he can't do. Yeah, I mean, that's fair to say that as well. A lot of the fan base who's been putting that pressure on this weight issue really haven't, look, you guys just haven't been accurate about what it's going to take to make this fight happen. A lot of the fan base has been saying that Devin's going to have to be willing to come down 135 pounds, that he's going to have to hit rehydration clauses, and that's the only way this fight's going to happen. A lot of people have been blaming Devin Haney in that way, saying if he really wanted to fight with Gervonta, he would have never left 135 pounds. But when you see Gervonta do something like this, right, looking at a Conor Benn, and to this day, we don't know how serious he is as well, right? He might just be trolling, who knows? But just taking into consideration that, let's say he's serious, right? If he is serious about that, I think it's fair to say that weight is not an issue. Weight is not an issue. And I think the fan base, both fan bases, honestly, need to start becoming a little more unbiased and just looking at, first of all, ask yourself the question, do you want to see the fight or not? And if you do want to see the fight, let's be honest about what it's going to take to make the fight happen. Right now, it doesn't look like the weight issue is the reason why the fight is not happening. So outside of that, why isn't this fight happening, right? Is it because of money? I mean, there's potential solutions to the money problem. We all know what it is. Some people don't want to go there. Some people want to say there's no money there, whatever, but there's potential solutions to the money problem. So what is it going to take for this fight to happen? And I'll tell you right now, I'm not subscribing to the he has to come down and weight thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Freaking Flyer says, Clay, I caught sound that the offer from Hearn might be a 3-fight deal with Conor Benn, Devin Haney, and Ricky Hatton's son. What's his name again? What's Ricky Hatton's son's name again? Campbell Hatton. Campbell Hatton is his name. Yeah, I heard about that as well. I'm hearing things about that. And that's another part of this conversation we're also going to jump into, because there's also rumors going around about PBC's financing as far as their deal with Amazon and how that deal has been structured. And if that deal has been structured around these fighters getting paid by Amazon, or is PBC going to be just, responsible for that part, and is Amazon really just facilitating a media deal, a platform deal for them? I think that makes a big difference in their ability to make the big fights. It takes money, and when you're talking about people like Gervonta, Tank Davis, Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about a lot of money. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, these guys are used to being paid a certain way, and if there's not a budget deal in place, if it's not structured properly to help facilitate these fights, monetarily giving these guys the invested interest they need to make these fights, it might be difficult for PBC to put these fights together. Let's see here. Bradley 68. By the way, salute Bradley. Thanks for showing up. He said, Bill wants to fight. Show some damn respect. Man, look, I hear you, man, in a perfect world, right? But I think, fights have historically been built on a lot of tension, calling out, walking in people. I remember when Shane Mosley went to get a fight with Floyd Mayweather, right in Floyd Mayweather's victorious moment in the ring. He was speaking, here comes Shane Mosley, Floyd went off like, no, look, man, we going to fight or what? I remember Sean Porter doing the same thing with Keith Thurman, like, let's fight. What are you talking about? Let's fight. You know what I mean? He won it. It was Danny Garcia. I'm sorry. It was with Danny Garcia for that WBC title. It wasn't very respectful then. So, it's fighting at the end of the day. I think as a community, as a boxing space, sometimes we get a little, sensitive in places we're not supposed to be sensitive. In my opinion, it's fighting, man. If you got a problem with the way he's doing it, set up a fight with him and punch him in his face in front of everybody, Let's see here. Tom, did I miss you here? It says, Tom says, I think there's something between Bill and Coach Calvin and Kenny, personal issues. I agree with that. There's definitely issues with Bill Haney and Coach Calvin. I don't know about Kenny. Being that Kenny is going to have Calvin's back, I guess, we can assume that he's involved in it. But yeah, Bill and Calvin definitely has had some funny interactions. One specific one that he had, I don't remember the platform. Don't quote me. I think it was the Boxing Voice. Shout out to the Boxing Voice with Ness and all of them. But I believe there was a real heated situation between them. But once again, guys, I got to be honest with you, man. What better revenge than if you could punch a guy in the face and get some money for it? I mean, what's better than that? Big Dre says, just a move to piss off the Haneys. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Shout out to Rollo Green. Shout out to Big Dre. Rollo Green says, imagine not getting a fight because your promoter is talking shit. Ain't no starve out. It's called I can't beat your fighter and I don't want to lose my cash. Listen, Linda, listen. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, what better way? You got a sport that's willing to pay you a lot of money. If somebody's pissing you off like that, if somebody's not respecting you, don't feel respected, what better way than to punch him in his face? How many of us would love to confront our enemies, and somebody says, here, man, here's $1 million. Now I go punch him in his face. Like, I would have done that for free. You gonna give me money too? What are we talking about? Say less. Say less. Let's see here. Bradley says Devin will do it if he keeps winning. I mean, listen, I agree with you, Bradley 68, but here's the other part of this conversation that I don't think gets spoken about enough. Devin's on a trajectory, right? What does that mean? That means he's moving. He's going to be at 147 at some point. Right now is the best opportunity that Tank has to have this fight with Devin at a fair weight, 140 pounds. When Devin starts making moves up and starts going 147 pounds, it's either we might just have to accept that we're never going to see this fight. But if it does happen later, there's a chance that it's going to be even at a higher weight class for Tank Davis to make this fight happen. Or he's going to be doing the same thing again, right? He's going to want Devin to stay at 140. Devin's going to fight like 3 to 5 fights at 140. He's going to want to move to 147 and once again not be able to make 140 in a healthy way. Let's remember that he did hit the scales for that fight against Regis Prograis, pretty much had to get naked on that scale to hit 140 pounds. So time is of the essence. Time is of the essence in this situation. Let's see here. Big Dre, shout out Rollo, Ray Davis salutes, Next Generation. Oh man, I don't know if I should be reading these to myself before I read them out loud. I hope nothing out here embarrasses me. Let me see. Next Generation said, it'd be even better after years of everybody saying you're scared and the guys at the top of his game in his prime, you do it and make it look easy. Okay, so Next Gen says, listen, man, if it has to happen at 147, if he's got to do it when he's even better, it would look even better. Hey, I mean, listen, man, no complaints from me. If that's the way he wants to carry it, then that's the way it'll be, you know. I just think at the end of the day, Tank Davis, I'm not one of the guys who subscribe to the idea that Tank Davis is a whittle guy and, you know, we got to protect him. But at the same time, I do feel like if you don't have to, why put yourself in the worst case scenario? You know what I mean? Right now, you have a history at 140 pounds. You earned a belt up there. You beat somebody who's now the 147 pound interim WBC champion. You know you can compete there. You know, why risk going anywhere else? Get this money right now and fight Devin Haney, or at least, you know, he doesn't have to, obviously, right? But I would think he'd want to do it earlier than later. If he really does plan on doing it, that he want to do it earlier rather than later. Let's see here. Tom says, like when back in elementary school, I see a monkey. You at 3. I'm gonna meet you at 3 o'clock after school time. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's how we did it. Yeah, look, you could do it in the ring too, right? Let's see here. Ray says, L's don't matter. Take the fight or is about the bag. Tank said Dev was number 1 on the list and slipped into a heavier fight. Yeah, man. That's another part of it. You know, people say, like, listen, if Tank doesn't want to fight Devin Haney, that's one part of it. But he made it clear that this was the number 1 guy on top of his bucket list that he really wanted to address his situation with. So, I mean, it just doesn't, I don't know. It looks crazy that if you are trying to starve him out in this way, it doesn't benefit us as fans. How about that? As fans of boxing, it doesn't benefit us to not see the fight because of something like that. You know what I mean? Frequent Flyer said he too widow. He ready to fight at 147, it looked like. Oh, Bradley 68 said everyone knows Tank ain't scared of Dev. Stop the BS, Rollo, you better stop playing with Bradley 68. You already know how you guys do. You know what I mean? Let's see. Next Gen Combat Sports TV says all of Tank's contemporaries are younger than him. If he murks them too early, who else would he have mega fights with? But look, Next Gen, I agree with you, right? But how about this? Tank had an interview where he spoke specifically about him not wanting to have a career that's too long. He wants to, he said he had a couple of fights left and he'd be entertaining a retirement inside the next few years. So he's already done that, right? Like he's made his money. He's going to continue to make money, obviously, but you know, what does he have? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got Shakur, we've got Devin, we've got Teofimo, we've got Lomachenko, and you could put Frank Martin in the conversation. That's, you know, 5 fights, at least 4 of those fights he should be fighting. He's only fighting about once this year. It looks like he's only going to fight once, being that he's not going to be fighting until June, supposedly in the UK. I don't know, but that pretty much puts him in fighting at once, maybe twice this year. You know, the other 2 next year, that's 2 years of fights right there. And those are probably his biggest money opportunity that he's going to have. I mean, I think this is prime time for him to take advantage of all these fights. That's what I think. He's also about 30 years old, so he's not getting any younger. So, you know, that's one way to take a look at it. I understand what you're saying, but I don't know how much time he has to make these fights happen the way you want him to have it. I'm saying Bradley says, I guess Devin's scared of boots, huh, Rollo? I'm not going to answer that. You and Rollo are going to have at it. We're going to open up the panels probably in another half an hour or so too. So I'm sure you guys get up here and have good, healthy debates about these topics. Next Gen said salute. Rollo said Tank is 30 fighting Teo Shakur. Dev will take at least 2 years. By then he'll be old. These fights need to happen now. I was saying the same thing, Rollo. I was saying the same exact thing, man. At the end of the day, what better time than now? He's pushing 30 years old. I just don't believe the whole idea that I can just do it later. I don't know how I would feel about that, you know. Southwest Dice, salute, man. Thank you for showing up for me. Ray Davis says, well, Boots is avoided. Let me see here. Well, Boots is avoided by fighters in his own division, Bradley 68. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's another conversation we can have about Boots, man. You know, inactivity is such a, it seems to be such a virus today in fighting. These fighters are losing everything, sitting outside the ring, waiting for the perfect deals, waiting a year, sometimes a year and a half. You look at Keith Thurman right now, getting ready to fight Tim Tszyu at the end of next month. And this man hasn't fought on 2 years, right? 25 plus months at this point, hasn't fought, and waiting on what? You know, who's he going to be when he fights Tim Tszyu? We'll get a chance to see that, I guess. Guys, Let me ask you guys a question. Does anybody in the chat here have any information or any type of insight on the structure of the deal with PBC and Amazon at this point? What's going on with that deal? Is that just a media platform deal where they're just providing a space for them to showcase their fights? Or is there actually a budget in there involved in paying these fighters? Anybody know what's going on with that? Bradley's still on that. Let them fight at 135 then. Bradley, you know, all I can say to you is, if that's what Tank wants, tell Tank to send the offer. You know, until he sends the offer, we don't even know that he wants to fight at 135, that he has a problem with being at 140. You know, that's a big thing right there. At the end of the day, he should send the offer. If the conditions are 135 or rehydration clause or whatever split, a side benefits, privileges, perks, whatever it is that's being pushed from the people around Tank, because Tank doesn't seem to be matching you guys' energy. It looks like he's really just with the smoke, you know, and he just wants the powers that be to get the money right and get the business done right so that he can move forward and take it to what he knows how to do best, which is fight. He's not a businessman. He's not all those things. I remember when Tank was fighting against Ryan Garcia, he had an interview where he mentioned that he wasn't even aware of the rehydration clause like that. You know, that he found out about it later because it was pretty much his management that kind of coordinated that for him. Now, once he found out it was there, he was like, okay, well, there's no problem with that. You know, that benefits me. But once again, he doesn't care about those things, in my opinion, as much as you guys may think he does. So 135 doesn't seem to be pushing the needle as far as Tank is concerned about making this fight happen. It doesn't seem like that's the issue that we're dealing with, but that's just from the outside looking in. Next Gen Combat Sports TV says, with Tank's style and athleticism, I think his prime will be at least until 33. So I think those fights happen before then, around 30, 32. Okay, so you're saying 2 to 3 years for these fights happening. I think that's a realistic thing. You know, I think that is a realistic thing. I think the longer he waits, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, the better these fighters get, the more competitive these fights become. That just helps the people who he's fighting against, right? If he's fighting Devin at his prime, is he fighting Shakur at his prime? He's fighting Frank. Loma might not even be in the game in 3 years. Who knows how he feels about boxing, everything going on in Ukraine. But and Frank Martin as well is also going to get better. But these guys are also going to move up in weight as well. Frank Martin will probably be at in a 140-pound weight class division. Shakur might be up there at the 140-pound weight, and Devin will be up around 147 pounds. So once again, just it seems unnecessary to put yourself through that. You know, Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo at the right time, in my opinion, right? He didn't let him get all great and you know, become, you know, he fought him young and this is my best opportunity. Let me take him right now. I don't know if Gervonta Tank Davis is going to take a page from that book or not. Let's see here. Big Dre, listen, fighters used to fight 5 times a year, so suck it up and schedule 190 days out and get the next one in the pipeline. Big Dre, I feel you, man. Boxing's not what it used to be, man. But I think if we want to be honest, I agree with what you're saying, but I think we can also be honest and say that's just not the way it is today, right? These guys aren't fighting like that, and that's a whole nother conversation about the activity with these fighters and getting them to be more active. I agree with you. There's no reason for Tank not to be fighting 4 times this year. No reason, 3 times at least. But here we are in the 2nd month of the year, and Tank Davis is not going to have his first fight until June, supposedly. And we, at this moment, still don't even know who that is that he's going to fight against. Welcome to boxing, the present day boxing that we're in right now. Call it what you want to call it, right? However you feel about it. Let's see here. Let's go. Rollo Green says, Bradley, where I'm from, when somebody call you up, when somebody call you a pussy, I'm not monetized right now, so I'm just gonna say, when a nigga call you a pussy and saying he want to fight, and you saying everything else but let's fight, then you scared. Yo, a lot of people subscribe to that mantra right there, Aralo Green. I gotta tell you, a lot of people subscribe to it. You know, sometimes we just got to get back to the basics, to the rules that of the foundation of it all, the streets, where all this started from, where fights started from. You know, you disrespected me, we got to fight. You know what I mean? You calling me out my name, we got to deal with it in a certain way. But today, business is the way to go about it. We bleed your pockets. We bleed your, we put narratives out there. We tear down your character. We make you look stupid. We troll you on social media. We do everything but what you said, Rollo. We do everything but fight. Bradley says, y'all going to complain about it. Yeah, I guess we are. You know, it is what it is. We want fights. We're boxing fans. We want fights, man. So, yeah, we're going to complain about it. It's going to seem like that at times. Tom says, if they really let this fight happen between Tank and Ben, to me, boxing is still watered down. You got to call a spade, man. Call it what it is. At the end of the day, if you're a real boxing fan, you see what's happening here between him and Conor Benn. If they set up a fight, it should be discouraging to you as a fan of boxing first. And if you're a fan of Tank, even as a fan of Tank, it should be discouraging to see him not want to fight any of the fighters you want him to fight, constantly circumventing, getting around the fight you want to have. That's another question I also have for the Tank fans. Is there anybody you want to see Tank fight? I rarely hear you guys talking about, I want to see him fight this guy next. It's always like a defensive, like he doesn't need to fight him. He doesn't need to fight him. He don't got to do this. He don't got to do that. He's an A side. He has the privilege. He could do whatever he wants. Is there somebody that you would like to see him fight? Is there somebody who you particularly as a fan of Tank and knowing his skill set would love to see his style of fighting against, to see an exciting fight? You guys let me know. I don't hear you guys talk about that too much. Very interested in your opinion on that. Bradley 68 says Devin in his prime and will be in his prime till about 32. Yeah, hopefully, man. Oh, I mean, Devin's going to be, he's moving forward. He's challenging himself. He's moving up weight. He's getting rounds in. He's staying busy. He's not letting inactivity take advantage of him. He's constantly looking for the best opportunity. Yeah, he's going to constantly just get better and better and better. He's getting those rounds in. Tank, on the other hand, you know, he hasn't been in the ring going on a year now, right? You know, he's being a little inactive. Some people would say that's inactive. For a professional fighter. So, you know, you're just not blessed by God. You gotta, you know, you're good as the last guy you beat. The last guy Tank beat was Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia has already had a fight and about to have another fight. He's working on another fight, supposedly with Devin Haney or whoever else he can find a fight with. So I think inactivity could be an issue, and, you know, people over there, the Tank fans should be also concerned about that. Him not fighting coming up March 30th. I don't know why. One could assume and jump into different directions and jump into a rabbit hole of entertaining different ideas as to why that fight hasn't happened, but that's not helping him not being in the ring. Freaking Flyer responding to RC. Oh, you don't want him to fight Hanos at 140. You want him to fight Dranos at 135. Touche, Freaking Flyer. A lot of guys don't seem to be concerned about competitive fights. They just want to make sure that Tank Davis gets the respect he deserves as an A side, and they're willing to protect that by all costs, any measures they want to protect that. Rollo Green says Dev never fought at 140. Dev ain't claiming to be a champion at 147 like Tank. And Boots didn't take Devin Haney money in a glorified, mystical, legendary sparring match. Ooh, Rollo. Shots fired. Yeah, man, there's a history there that, you know, people sometimes make it sound like anybody could put this fight together. As far as this Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis story goes, there's a lot of meat on the bone of this story. It's not just skills. There's also a story. There's tension. There's animosity. There's old sparring things that have happened. There's gambling. Money's been lost. The coaches don't like each other. Floyd Mayweather is not necessarily excited or happy with the Bill Haney team as well. There's so much going on outside of just inside that ring. You know, that's what makes this fight what it is. It's not just about Tank go fight anybody. Devin Haney does, you know, check a lot of boxes in the story and the build up to this fight. And that's what makes people want to see this fight happen, man. Let's see. I'm going down the list, guys. Rollo Green, Dev never fought. No, I got that one. Next Gen says maybe Tank, a real one, and want to beat these guys at their best. Look, Next Gen, I can't lie to you. Maybe that is what it is. Maybe that isn't what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's scared. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We can entertain all types of things. Maybe he's scared. Maybe he doesn't want to fight Devin Haney because he doesn't feel he can beat him. I don't think that's what it is. But if we're entertaining maybes, there's a lot of maybes we can be entertaining, right? Let's see here. Next Gen says Ryan was the only exception because the money was right there. I see it says Allah. Is that Allah, this Oscar De La Hoya moment? I don't really get that, Next Gen. I don't know if you want to add some context to that. We'll get back to that. I know, but a ninja can dream. Yeah, I know what you're talking about right there. You're talking about that whole entire why they're not fighting 5 times a year. Let's see. Rollo says Devin never fought at 147, and Tank says he's 140 champ. Y'all got too many excuses. Excuses. More excuses. Shout out to Freaking Flyer. Southwest Dice says styles make fights. Tank never fights Devin, in my humble opinion. I mean, what are we saying though? Southwest Dice, what are we saying? Are we saying that Tank will only fight fights that stylistically favor him winning?
Oh,
Are we talking about choreography here?
I'm in. How am I doing right now? Sound good?
Ray,
Sound
you wanted to say something?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're talking.
I can even, yeah, it sounds like
okay. I don't know.
Am I breaking up?
You're breaking up a little bit, yeah, but you keep stop talking. So if you're saying something, just say it and let's see what happens. Okay. Yeah. Southwest Dice, are we saying that? When you say styles make fights, Tank never fights Devin, in my humble opinion. You're saying styles make fights. I don't know. Maybe we'll dig deeper in that a little bit in the conversation. You guys let me know what you think in the chat about that statement. I think that's a profound statement right there.
I agree with that last statement. I think that styles will make fights, and I think that from what we gathered and information, see that Devin has some type of advantage over Tank. And I think Tank is displaying this. Now, I am not 100% sure, because but I am about 60 on the plus side of being sure, because we see how Tank is moving, and it's always moving him around, the subject of Devin Haney and with the excuses that we get. I'm not saying that Tank can't beat Devin, but I am saying it looks like there is something that is keeping him from fighting Devin. Now, whether they age him out, whatever the case may be, that's what it is.
Okay. Yeah, man. I think that's profound. A lot of people, there was a little interview that went out there where Bill Haney was able to get one of these content creators. That's my boy, Mill City, and he spoke to choreography. He spoke to this, and it seemed to ruffle a lot of feathers. I know Mill didn't really appreciate the way Bill kind of portrayed what he was saying, but I think he still, regardless how you want to look at it, what Mill was saying held some weight. Choreography in these boxers' careers. Styles make fights. They're not always getting put against the styles that make the fights the most competitive fights that we can see. That's undeniable. Let me see. Ray also said something here. So much stuff here. Let's see. Ray said, okay, what does Devin want to fight? Okay, does Devin wanting to fight Tank have to do with complaining? Tank said he was on the hit list. Tank's fan said Devin was too big. Tank's handler said he can't send the offer. He beat a bigger Sean Porter. Yeah, man. I mean, look, man, we can get deep into rabbit hole. I'm sure people, we could do this all day long, right? We can do this all day long. People are going to have opinions on this. But at the end of the day, I think two things are very important here. Number one, you're not going to know what Tank wants until Tank makes it clear what he wants. And the best way Tank can make it clear what he wants to make this fight happen is to send an offer. That's very, very important. We don't know if it's a weight issue. We don't know if it's a money issue. We don't know what it is. But until Tank communicates it, everybody involved in this conversation is assuming and trying to figure out what he's thinking. And I think that's going to be on him. You can't do nothing but put that on him to communicate that to the space, why this fight isn't happening, or if this fight will even happen. And if this fight does happen, how it will happen, right? We do know that Devin's interested in the fight. That's it, We know that, and he's communicated, I think, that as well as he can on his interest on making the fight happen, to the point where it's become cringe and people are just tired of hearing about it, right? So Ralph says, if Tank fights Ben at 147, then that shows me that the weight was never an issue with Haney. He sees holes in Ben, and he knows he can win. But with Haney, he doesn't see as many deficiencies in Haney. I think that's fair to say, Ralph. I think that's fair to say. I mean, what else do you want? I think that's very, 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 very fair to say. Some fans are going to feel like you're being a hater and you're trying to tear down the boy, and that's not fair. And I mean, look, bro, we're talking about boxing, right? If you're not fighting and you can fight anybody you want, and you're choosing not to fight the people who the fans want to see you fight, we have to assume that you're doing that with purpose. If you want to clarify it, do one of those interviews or put out an offer or whatever to clarify that. But until then, I think Ralph is making a fair statement. Next Gen Combat Sports TV says, I meant how when Mayweather beat Oscar and became the money man, Tank got 30 million plus off that Ryan fight. I don't think he could have gotten that with anybody else. Okay. I mean, next gen, there's other parts of that conversation when we're talking about the money aspect of Tank making the most money he can. There's other intangible variables that can be brought up as to how Tank can make that money, right? There's some arguments to say that Tank is actually in position to make the most money he's ever made, way more than he ever made with Ryan fighting against Devin, just because of interested parties who have access to the capital, you know, to make this a lucrative fight for both of the fighters. So listen, if Tank wants the fight to happen, I would say it's safe to say there is a way for this fight to happen and to make it the most lucrative fight he's ever had. The question is he going to hit the gas? Is he going to hit that next gear into the negotiations and begin to use the resources that are out there for him to use to make this fight happen? Once again, remembering that Tank is the A side in this conversation, and the only way this fight can be made is if Tank puts out the offer. We have to always remember that. Tom says Floyd supposed to be these young boxers' mentor. I know we're going with this one. Uncle to these up and becoming boxers. But he, to me, don't care about these young boxers. Just look at the Reign situation. I kind of went left a little bit there, but I agree with everything you were pretty much saying. You know what I mean? Look at the Reign situation. I'm not sure if you want to clarify that for me, but yes, man, what is Floyd's position that he's playing in these negotiations, and what is he telling these guys? What is he telling these guys is the thing to do? Last time I heard Floyd said belts they catch dust, they don't pay bills, they don't feed your kids. I've also heard Floyd give advice to Gervonta on how to deal with the Lomachenko situation, to let him get old, those type of things. Also heard and saw how Floyd affected the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney negotiation situation, how he kind of stepped in there and just, you know, as a fans, we it seems like we're losing with the Floyd Mayweather strategy for boxers to become as successful as they can. It doesn't seem to involve giving the fans what they want. So one might question, is Floyd Mayweather good for boxing right now with his mentality or not? Everybody can have their own opinions on that, but I think it's fair to question, what is Floyd supposed to be to these young boxers, and what is he doing for these young boxers? And is he encouraging them to be great? You know, Floyd had a little conversation with Tank Davis when he fought against Mario Barrios, and he thought that Mario was down. And, you know, that Gervonta was down in that fight, and he said, you got to show them something. You're down on the cards. This is time for you to be great. I was like, wow, man, he's giving this guy the motivation he needs to, you know. I wonder if he's having those conversations regularly with his fighters, those type of conversations. How many times are those type of conversations happening with Floyd and his fighters? Big Dre says, stylistically, I think Tank has shown that he can adjust and adapt, and as long as the opposition isn't running, he can still get the job done. Yeah, listen, man. One thing Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't have to prove, he's great. He's a great fighter, generational talent fighter. That's why we want to see him fight all these guys that we want to see him fight. So, you know, he's definitely proven that. We just want to see him fight the best. We want to see Styles make fights, like somebody said earlier, and people will constantly say in the boxing space, probably one of the number one lines that's said constantly, Styles make fights. And we want to see him against certain styles, because we know when those styles collide, we know how entertaining and competitive and how much boxing wins when those fights happen. Rollo Green says, Echo told Fanon I was right, and Fanon proceeded to call me a snake and then told my girl to check my phone. I can't make it up. I've been laughing ever since. Yeah, we'll leave that where it's at. You guys know how it is when it comes to that topic. I try not to, you know. Anyway, Bradley 68, maybe Tank just don't like Haney and will not let him make any money off his name. Yeah, unfortunately for boxing, unfortunately for fans like us, that may very well be true. Definitely might be true. The boxing gym next door and the kickboxing. Okay, I don't know. Tom says, I want to see Tank fight Stevenson and Haney, period. Gary Russell said that he given Maryland a bad name. Listen, man, look, bro, I'm not trying to hate on this man, but it is what it is. We don't got to, you know what I mean? All you guys who's fighting this and making us the bad guys for calling it the way we see it, it is what it is. You know what I mean? listen, man, there's a lot of things going on between with Tank Davis right now. A lot of things going on in boxing right now. PBC and the Amazon Prime thing, I think, is hot news right now because we don't know what's going on. We're looking at a card coming on March 30th that kind of doesn't make sense in some ways. An $80 pay-per-view. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Me personally, I don't know. You know what I mean? But look, man, at the end of the day, hopefully boxing can win. What I'm actually getting ready to do is I'm about to put excuse my, let's see here. I'm about to put the link in here if anybody wants to come up and build and we could talk boxing, you know, something I love to do. Put there, go ahead and put that in there. You know what I mean? It's up there, you guys. Feel free to hit the link, come up here. If you feel like building, we're here to do that. I think it's going to be an interesting situation. I think it pans out. I think, you know, Gervonta Davis is playing with his reputation a little bit, you know. He's still the face of boxing, I guess. A popular guy. Everybody wants to see him fight. But, you know, you keep on doing certain things after at a certain point, it can go left for you. Let me see here. I have an idea of what's happening. I am bot 100. Okay, I don't know what you mean, Ray. Don't know what you mean, Ray. Don't know what you mean, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you mean. You know, so we got the fight coming up on MC. Is it confirmed that PBC pay-per-view going to be $80? That's what I'm hearing it's going to be, next gen. I'm hearing it's going to be $80. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it'll be just 50, 60 bucks. Whatever it is, if we're paying for it. I was telling somebody earlier today, I was talking to a friend of mine. I ain't going to say her name because everybody knows who she is. Big voice in the boxing space. But at the end of the day, we were talking about, you know, this pay-per-view card and saying, listen, man, if I go to a restaurant and I get a burger and I pay $15 for the burger could be real good. And I might come back. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to come back here, bring some friends here, and we can have this burger, man, because this is a $15 burger that's worth it. But you charge me $80 for that burger? I mean, that burger got to be really close to flawless, because any issue I find with that burger going to have me saying, not only am I upset with the money I spent, but I might even go on record to say that burger is downright nasty. Just disgusting. And it might be a decent burger, but the $80 just does something to the taste buds, right? For $80, you want to have an experience. And if you don't get that experience, you just put a high price on it, you know. And same thing with these pay-per-views. You put money to these pay-per-views, it changes these cards. It changes the experience of these cards. You know, a free card has a couple of good fights on it. That was a good card. An $80 card that only had a couple of good fights on it. It's going to be hard to get that $80 out of me the next time. Let's see here. Ralph said, I'm a fan of Tank, but in terms of resume, he should be way ahead of his peers. In terms of resume, he had a chance to beat Prime Loma, Gary Russell, Tevin Farmer, Burchell, Valdez back then at 130. Yeah. And, you know, you're going into history books, Ralph, right now. You're going into the history books already, right? And that's what's important about what's happening right now that maybe people don't want to understand. The history books will speak on this, right? And this is where you're great. This is where your greatness is going to be spoken about. This is where you're going to find out if you had a great impact on boxing or whether or not what you did for boxing was nothing, a joke. It's not going to be right now. In the moment, it looks like you're doing a lot. You're making money. Everything is great. But 10 years, 15 years down the line, history will speak on this situation. And that's the only time you'll know you're great. We know Muhammad Ali is great today because of what he did back in the day. We know about Mike Tyson. We know about George Foreman. We know about Lennox Lewis. We know about the great things they did. We call them great fighters because after their career, we look back at their career and we assess that they were great fighters. So this is what's happening right now for a lot of these fighters. And if they're not taking that into consideration, they may be doing themselves a bigger disservice than they know they're doing. Rollo Green says $80, but Bill's the pimp. I wish I had a button for that. I wish I had a button for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a button for that. I need a wah, 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 wah. Yeah, but I don't have a button for that. Let's see here. Next Gen says, if it's 40-60, okay, if it's 40-60, I think it'll do okay, but 80, disrespectful for Zoom Keith. Hey, I'll agree with you in Next Gen and say 40-60 is better than 80. How about that? It's less money than 80. So, yeah, if I had to choose, I'd pick the 40-60 if it had to be between 46 to 80. But you know what's better than 40 and 60? Free. Give us a pay-per-view card when it's supposed to be a pay-per-view card. When the fighters are supposed to be on pay-per-view, put them on pay-per-view. When they're not supposed to be on pay-per-view, put them somewhere where we can have access to them and see them and not have to spend a bunch of money. Be realistic and fair to your fan base. That's always an option. That's always an option as well. But 40 and 60, definitely better than 80. I got to agree with you. Ray Davis says, how does a fight bigger than the other? Wait, how does a fight bigger than the other, if not the same? One is free and the other is $80. One for a title and the other for a future star and gatekeeper. Wow. Are you talking about the TEOFIMO? Are you talking about the TEOFIMO Jamaine Ortiz fight? Yeah, man. Look. You put a price behind it, you put value on it. When you put that price on it, you put value on it. When you put the value on it, people start to wonder what's the thread count? What's the thread count on these sheets? You're making me we start counting the thread count. We want to know. We start laying on it, wondering how long it takes before it gets hot. Oh, it gets hot real quick. If I'm paying this much money, I don't need to get, a lot of things start coming up when you do that. To be honest, I'm most excited about Big Rolo and Pitbull. Man, that is going to be a good fight. And listen, that pay-per-view card is going to be a good card. I think it's going to be a decent card, I think it is a good card. But, when you put that price tag on it, the question is it an $80 card? Is it a pay-per-view card? I think with the right headliner, that could be a pay-per-view card. I just don't think that Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman is the right headliner personally to charge me money for, but it is what it is. Tom said, Ryan. Ralph said, I'm sorry, but why would I pay $80 to see a one-sided fight with Tszyu and Thurman? Tszyu's gonna destroy Thurman in under 8 rounds. Look, what's so funny? What would really be funny and really something that would really kind of be karma? If Keith Thurman was to mess around and beat Tim Tszyu, I want you guys to, what does Country Wayne say? Let this sizzle in your spirit. If Keith Thurman were to mess around and beat Tim Tszyu still walking around champion because it was a catchweight fight? Do we respect that? Is Tim Tszyu still the 154-pound WBO champion and Keith Thurman is not, and that fight didn't count, and Tim Tszyu still the biggest threat? I don't know. I think yes, I do see that it should be Tszyu stopping Keith Thurman, but Keith Thurman is Keith Thurman. Let's remember he only lost to Manny Pacquiao. He's a former unified welterweight champion. This guy in the fight with Pacquiao that he lost was a close fight. A lot of people would argue and say that if he didn't get knocked down that fight, that would have been either a draw or Keith Thurman could have potentially won that fight. So outside of his lack of activity in the ring, Keith Thurman is still a very game dog in the conversation. Very game, and we should respect him. And I wouldn't be shocked at all, to be honest with you, if Keith Thurman would have beat Tim Tszyu. I'd be shocked a little bit. But I wouldn't be shocked a lot. So guys, so we saw the press conference. We've gone over the press conference. We've gone over Abdullah Mason. Have we talked about Abdullah Mason? You guys been focused on Abdullah at all? This guy's a real great prospect coming out the 135-pound weight class division. People like him, Emiliano Vargas, and things of that nature are going to be causing a lot of soon. Let me see. Ray Davis said about to hop on in 5 minutes. Great. I know Ray got a lot to say to you guys, so we're going to hold the fort for him for about 5 minutes here. Let's see here. Abdullah Mason fighting against Benjamin Gervonta. This is a fight that Abdullah's supposed to win pretty easily, but one thing about Abdullah Mason, he's going to give you an entertaining fight. It's probably going to be a stoppage. He's a great puncher, boxer, exciting fighter. You know what I'm saying? Really making waves out here. Let me see here. Let me read this. Next Gen Combat Sports TV says Tszyu said he gonna have him squealing. That's what he says. He better. I'm gonna tell you what, Tszyu has a lot. Listen, man, this card right here that Tszyu is on, he may feel protected. Maybe he looks like he's protected, being that they made this a catchweight fight. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you lose against Keith Thurman, it's not gonna look good for you, brother. It is just not gonna look good for you. Big Dre says, I'm an old man, and I got to watch great fights for free. And I got to watch regular fight fees. Now I got to buy a DAZN subscription, an Amazon subscription, an ESPN Plus subscription. And you want me to fork over $50 to watch now? Yeah, listen, man, it's a new world. It's a new world, man. And listen, man, you know what, Dre? You wouldn't feel that bad if the fights were worthwhile. If you're getting the fights you wanted to see. If Canelo Alvarez was fighting David Benavidez. If Devin Haney was fighting Gervonta Tank Davis. If Terrence Crawford was fighting Canelo or fighting Errol Spence, or if you were getting the fights you wanted to see, you just wouldn't be as mad about the $50 that you are right now. But the fact of the matter is, you've seen fights that you don't care to see. You know it. You know it. And you're not putting the pressure where it's supposed to be put, which is on these promoters, which is on these fighters. That's where this pressure is supposed to be put. They need to know that we are dissatisfied customers and we want more and we demand more. Let's be honest about it. Let's be honest about it, guys. Talk to your fighter. Talk to your fighter. Don't talk to my fighter. Don't talk to his fighter. Talk to your fighter, the one that you're a fan of. Let him know what you need from him. Stop kissing his tail and let him do whatever he wants to do. Let him know I need to see these fights because I'm paying for them. I'm a fan of boxing, and I want to see you fight the best. Talk to him right and talk to him nice. Rollo Green says, what's the difference between Tank Ryan and Tim Thurman? Both are matchmaking one-sided, already decided fights. I don't know what the difference is. I think Tank Ryan, I think there was a little bit of hope that Ryan would make it a more competitive fight than he did. I think him performing the way he did really was just a letdown. We knew he was going to lose that fight, but we were really hoping that he'd make it more competitive. And he really just got outclassed to a point where, you know, it just didn't feel right at the end of the night. You know what I mean? As far as Tim and Thurman is concerned, that's a fixer-upper. Let's be honest, guys. The guys who were supposed to be headlining that card weren't able to fight on that card. Let's be honest. Let's be honest about what we're seeing here. Something happened on that card. Something in the matchmaking didn't go right on that card. And what we're watching is a Band-Aid fight. That's a Band-Aid headliner. That's what that is. It's a Band-Aid headliner. It's a oops. Let's get these two guys together last minute. So last minute, the WBO was like, I can't even sanction this. You guys are going to have to do a catchweight fight. We can't let the title be on the line for that. We got too much respect. Next Gen Combat Sports says, I think Emiliano trying to be Ryan Garcia 2.0. Insults! Next Gen, insults! I reject that. I rebuke that. Emiliano Vargas is a great fighter. Ryan Garcia isn't. It is what it is. Coming to the stage, my boy, my brother, my co-host, none other than he's in the building with his, I think that's a Padres hat on. It's your boy, C.K. Ray Davis. Salute. I've been holding it down without you, brother. Been holding down without you.
Let me switch my avatar back to what it's supposed to be. I was just clowning a little bit. You know what I mean?
No doubt, man.
Get the room jumping. You know how that goes. Setting up, man. It took me a while to get to the crib. You know what I mean? I'm around the corner, but you know, situation is, I'm trying to act like I'm in Metro right now, so I'm in footwork mode. All right. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Trying to lose a few pounds. I told y'all. Listen. All this you talking about is serious, man. Yeah, why are we talking about this, man? You know what it is? Listen, PBC got a nice card, but is the card worthy, like you said, is the card worthy of $80? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We already know something fell apart. We actually probably figured that it was going to be this Tim Tszyu Bud fight. Bud pulled out. I mean, according to Tim Tszyu, or not Bud pulled out, but they decided to switch it. You know what I mean? They pulled the curtains on him and switched it to our homie, Mr. Gatekeeper, who's not a gatekeeper, Mr. Keith Thurman. But you know what? If he wins, that is surprising, 100% surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. I think it's going to be a tough fight, and I think they personally made this fight because Keith is a little smaller and he has a problem with body shots. And guess who loves body shots? Yeah, Tim Tszyu. So I think that's why this fight was made, just to get him an accolade. And if he loses, he doesn't lose his title, not worth my money. You know what's worth my money? If TEOFIMO was on this pay-per-view with Jermaine Ortiz, that would be worth some money. You know what I mean?
I would have paid for it. I would have paid for it.
And it would have been $49 too at Top Rank, unfortunately. And I'm not even a big Bob Arum supporter, but I would have been like, yo, I'd have paid that $50.
Right. I think that's equivalent to a Devin Haney Regis Prograis, or maybe even a better fight, some people might say, competitive wise, you know what I mean, the way it turned out. Yo, Next Gen Combat Sports TV says Ryan would beat the shit out of Emiliano right now. LOL. I mean, more so his swag, like on some pretty boy stuff. First of all, I don't know that Ryan would beat Emiliano Vargas. I will give him the credit that he's a more experienced and he's a contender, and Emiliano's still a prospect. So I won't push back that far on there. As far as the pretty boy stuff is concerned, I see where you're going with it. I think Emiliano's cut from a tougher cloth. I think that Vargas last name carries weight. I think that's a tough guy right there who's raised to be tough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I feel you though, bro.
I actually kind of let me touch on this because I actually agree that Ryan will beat him. It'd be a tough fight. But here's the problem. I was trying to get on another channel earlier today. Ryan, I don't know who keeps saying Ryan has footwork, but somebody keeps saying this. And you know what's crazy? I've never seen Ryan shuffle. I've never seen Ryan pivot. Anything that's basic. All I see him doing is turning and turning. You know what I mean? And his feet turn with him. He walks back. He's flat-footed. I don't know where they get this from, but at the end of the day, yeah. Emiliano might rock him though. Emiliano's got hands, so it'll be a good fight. We'll have to wait and see if that ever happens. Because if Ryan loses his next fight to Devin Haney or whoever,
who is he fighting? Because I don't think it's Devin. From what I'm understanding, Devin told him to kick rocks.
Yeah, of course though. Why? I got chewed out because I said Devin deserves more for him pulling out the fight the first time, right?
Oh yeah, because Devin deserves nothing.
Yeah, I was on it. I became. Hold on, let me switch my logo again. This is what I became when I said that, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It was like, yo, Ray Davis, you're part of the Hanos clan. We see you. You're defending Hanos. So I had to switch the logo up. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, that's not how this works. You know what I mean? That's not what we do. We try to represent boxing, man, at the end of the day. But, I got that just every time they try to push me into that side of the fence. That's what I do. What's up, Boxing Kangaroo? Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you.
Boxing Kangaroo, salute, man. Yo, that link is on there on Boxing Kangaroo if you want to get in here and get in some boxing conversations. Kind of miss you, man. We ain't seen you in a minute, brother. I'm gonna throw it up again for you if that'll intrigue you to hit.
This is Milwaukee's Brewers, by the way.
Let me see. Next Gen Combat Sports says, shout out to Next Gen Combat Sports. Really appreciate how you've been interacting and staying in communication. You kind of like, you know what I mean? I really appreciate it. Real good constructive feedback. Huh?
He's a YouTuber. He's got a channel.
No, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate him. He ain't been sitting there quiet. You know what I mean? Next Gen said, what happened when Wilder tried to shuffle and pivot? LOL, pointless. That's not his game. Yerp.
You know what I'm saying? Look, somebody see what I see. Somebody see what I see.
Yeah. I can't lie, so, Next Gen.
What else we talking about? Are we gonna even bring up the Matias situation, him possibly fighting Liam Paro?
Liam Bargo. No, we didn't bring that up at all. That's actually
okay.
Actually, just we're going to talk about that, and then just to make it clear that we all understand that for some reason or another that Subriel Matias decided to leave the PBC banner, which is the best banner he could be under, the best promotional company he could be under. It would make no sense for this man to leave this. This is like leaving Jay-Z and Rockefeller at the prime of Rockefeller. It's like, you left him for what? That's Rockefeller, state property. This is the same situation here. Subriel Matias walked away from the hottest label in the city and went to little old Matchroom. Went to little old, Matchroom that's on their way out the door, that's not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, and he went over there for whatever reason.
Clubber Lang, what's up?
What's up, Clubber? Peace. Salute.
Yo, Claymore, that look like you, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
It does.
Get a mohawk. Yeah, put the mohawk.
Oh, my brother, man. Bringing smiles to my face. My guy. My real guy, man. You know what I'm saying? My mentor in many ways. We don't got to talk about it. Mr. Frequency. In the building, salute, OG.
What's going on? Come on, Ray, man. You know you Hanos clan, man. Everybody know you're not undercover no more.
I'm not
out open with it. You got the badge and everything.
I made the badge for you, man.
Yeah, but you be wearing it, you be rocking it too.
Yeah, I don't think you rock it enough. Trolled, man. When I get trolled, I throw it up.
You got the shield.
Would it make you feel better if I put it up frequent?
Listen, man, I think me and Frequency was talking a little earlier about what the Hanos clan is, because there's some people out there who think that if they go Hanos clan that they're actually becoming, one-sided or something of that nature. No, what Hanos clan represents in real time is a rebellious spirit against the fans, the fanboy base of boxing, who want to just sit there and discredit a boxer who's trying to be great, who's trying to fight the best fighters in the world, and all you guys was attacking him. And really, Frequency just came up with his Hanos clan because he had to be the one guy. He's that guy who's sitting in the schoolyard watching that kid get bullied, and he's like, Nah, man, I'm not gonna stand by and watch this. You guys is not being thorough. You're not being stand-up dudes. It's not fair to this kid. And that's what the Hanos clan represents. I don't know if Frequency want to add anything to that. Maybe I'm overstepping or not mentioning enough what it is. But to me, that's what I see the Hanos clan is. You know what I mean? Free speech is what the Hanos clan is. Free speech.
Yeah, basically you said it all. What's up, Big Dre?
What's up, Freaker? How you doing? Good afternoon,
I'm good. How
evening,
you?
Claymore and Ray.
Man, I'm doing good, Dre. Nice to see you in good spirits and ready for some boxing talk. I know you in the mood. You're always in the mood. You're never catching Big Dre off of his square. You want to talk about boxing? I'll be your Huckleberry. You know what I mean?
No, I was listening to Fanon on Sunday. They had me off my square, man. I had to step back and just listen because between Blood and Echo, man, they were teaching a master class on history, and brother couldn't take notes fast enough. So you know, it was a great show. But you know, I think I've been listening to a lot of stuff over the last few days with this Tank and Conor Ben thing and the Shakur supposed retirement, whatever it is he's doing. You know, I think the Tank thing is basically, all right, you have, you know, yelled my name for 5 years. Every time it's that we could be in a position to make something happen, the other one's already got something going. So they're not putting anything in the pipeline as long as there's something in the pipeline. So, I mean, I don't know how they did it back in the day, but you got guys that were fighting every 35, 45 days. They were just getting it in. They put in the work and, you know, bang, who's next? You know, nowadays, you know, it takes 6 months to get a date together, and then, you know, they're gonna cancel it twice, and you know, you got fighters fighting twice a year. Some because they want to, some because they you know, that's all they can get in. I just think it's kind of crazy. But I think with the Tank and thing, he just doing it to piss Bill and Devin off. Just, you know, you've been calling my name, you've been calling my name, you've been calling my name. And I'm tired of you calling my name. So here, I'm gonna put this pork chop out here. Oh, damn it, I forgot to tell you, I ate all the meat.
Just the bone.
Just the bone, man.
That part.
Let's say red eye or something like that, man. Let's put some beef or chicken up here. That's
okay.
Pork chop.
Okay. I'm sorry, I still had dinner on the brain, okay?
Okay. No worries, man. I got you.
He said I couldn't help it. I had to. It was good pork chops. I'm sorry.
It was good pork chop, man.
Back to the topic.
You know,
no worries, man.
They took, you know, he said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give you something, and I'm gonna show you something in the process. I am the man. When it comes to this, I am the man. I'll make the decisions. I move the chess pieces. I move the checker pieces. I control the board. Here, watch this. And he went out there and said, hey, Conor, let's do something. And Conor said, sure, I'm down for whatever. I know that if I get in the ring with you, I'm guaranteed a bank. Probably make more money getting in the ring with Tank one time, getting his ass knocked out, than he's made in his entire career. And he'll be happy about that. You know?
Okay.
So basically he's saying they flexing.
Yes, I think he's flexing. I think he's flexing all over everybody. You know, you want to fight with me? Stop yelling in social media. Stop calling my name every time somebody's sticking a mic in your face. It ain't working. So here, let me show you what I can do.
Here's the only problem I have with that, Big Dre, is that Devin's not saying anything unless he's responding on Twitter or something of the sorts.
No, but Bill's saying everything.
It doesn't matter what Bill says. Bill's not the fighter. Devin said, "Hey, let's get it on." That's pretty much all he said. Tank responded, "Hey, let's do it. I'm gonna knock your block off." Nothing's happening. So you remember last year, Tank said in December that in New Year after January is gonna be the time he called people out, right? He said he's gonna call. He called out Devin. He said gonna knock his block off and make his daddy cry. He made a list. He made a list last year also.
No, he didn't make that list. He was offered that list. He just said yes and smiled.
I mean, he said there's a few guys I want to get at.
Yeah, he made that list. That was his list.
That was his list. That was his list. I don't know. I don't know.
He didn't say the names.
Yes, he did.
What do you mean? He said, "I have 3 fighters that I want to get at.
I would like to get
the names." He said, "Yes."
And then he said, "Well, can I get the names?" He says, "I'm not going to do that." Then the guy who was interviewing him, he offered him up. He put him out there, and all Tank did was smile and say yes.
Okay, so he's agreeing that those are the fighters, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so he said it. Those are the words out of his mouth. That's what he said.
I ain't got no problem agreeing to that. I'll agree to that.
I mean, we ain't got no lawyers in the building, but if we did, I would definitely put him on the on the stand for that, because that's cross-examination right there. That man said yes to all those names.
He did say yes to all those names.
Okay. I just listen. At the end of the day, I don't care if he does or he doesn't. We already said that. I already told you that fight's past me. I don't even care if they fight anymore. It's to the point where what I mean, they're going to fight. Whether it's going to be with the Zone or whatever. I think the Zone about to pick up a lot of fighters, man, from the PBC. I'm telling you.
I don't think so.
Okay. Listen, I would make a wager with you, but
I think that the structure of this deal between them and Amazon is a big
it's a big question mark what it is right now.
Big question mark. And I think it makes the biggest difference onto the legitimacy of what Ray Davis is saying or not legitimacy. I think if there's not a deal structured to get these fighters top dollar, that these fighters are going to be home team before anything. And home team ain't PBC. Home team is my kids, my wife, and my family's generational wealth. That's always going to be home team. And I think people are going to catch a rude awakening if they think that they're going to sacrifice their generational wealth for loyalty to some promotional banner.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let me just read this real quick. Just from Clubber Lang, right? It's a couple I want to read them. Clubber Lang said, "I feel fighters of yesteryear had to keep entering the ring because of low pay. Now fighters can more so hold off." I agree with you, man. Bradley 68 says, if any of you guys was in Tank's shoes, you would listen to your advisors. Quite possibly, maybe not. I think Tank's shoes is a little different than everybody else's, being that he's already made a lot of money. He's generated a lot. He's actually taken the steps to step away from the money team and get his own company in GTD. And that some people might say that would say that Tank is more interested in running his own career, having some independency, and be able to do what he wants to with his career. But maybe at the same time, advisors are there for a reason. They're there to advise, but they're definitely not there to tell you what to do. Bradley 68 says Keith Thurman is a warrior. Y'all need to stop. Yo, listen, man, I'm trying to tell you guys, he definitely is a warrior, and he can mess around and beat on Tim Tszyu. And if he beats Tim Tszyu and walks out of that ring stopping or beating him on the cards, and he's the winner, and Tim Tszyu gets to walk out WBO champion, how much value does that put in that championship belt? I'll leave that to everybody's own personal taste and standards on what they think about that. Ross Clock 2222 says Keith Thurman washed up. He's getting stopped. And he better get stopped, because I think that's what he's there to do, is to be stopped. Rollo Green agreeing with Bradley on something. What? Rollo Green says, I fully understand and agree with Al and Floyd's position. Oh, man. Oh, he's not agreeing with you, Bradley. He's agreeing with Al and Floyd. What I don't agree with is Tank and fans saying he is the best without having to prove it. Listen, man, it's the truth. We need to be honest about it, man. Listen, man. We can't act like he beat people who he hasn't fought. We can't act like he's done things that he hasn't done. We can't say because you think that he'll beat Devin Haney, because you think he'll beat Shakur Stevens, because you think he'll beat Lomachenko, because you think he'll beat TEOFIMO or beat Frank Martin or beat Conor Ben. We can't say that he's done it just because you think he can. I gotta agree with that statement there. Next Generation says the Zones got them boys over there. LOL. Roscott, salute Claymore, salute to the co-host. I forgot your name. It is CK Ray Davis, the one and only. You You know what I mean? Boxing historian. You know what I mean? Here for the smoke, handling all the business, Mr. I be a Huckleberry in flesh. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Rollo Green says Big Dre just be making up his own stories. Rollo always coming for Big Dre, always coming for him. Roscoe says Tank Davis pay-per-view star versus bums. What a sad era in boxing. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's a pay-per-view star versus bums. Man, God, listen, man, the fans are speaking. People are speaking, and I think there was another thing that was brought up today, man, and this was on another platform, and you guys may know what the platform is. I'll never say his name because that's not how I give it up. But this platform said today that if you guys read on my thumbnail, it says, stop complaining and just buy Tank's pay-per-views. So there is a narrative out here today that instead of asking Tank Davis to fight the fights we want him to fight, instead of requesting fighters to fight one fight, we should just be happy they're fighting and just look forward to whoever they fight. We complain too much as fans is what the narrative is. I wonder what you guys think about that, because it's also a narrative that they don't work for. So my question is, I agree with that, but they got to be working for somebody, right? So who they work for, guys? It ain't us. Maybe we need to ask that question. Maybe that question should be answered. Who do they work for if it is not us? So I definitely understand what you're saying, Mr. Rossclott. Mr. Rossclott. And Rollo Green, what a sad era in boxing. I concur. Bradley 68 says, Rollo, you said you're a boxing coach, you got him down the wrong path. What's the wrong path, Bradley? Fighting the best is the wrong path?
What's going on? Why we got Big Dre up here twice?
Because he probably fell out of one of his, I think he has like 2 channels or something. I've seen him do this before, where he left one and he came in another way. So I don't know. I'm actually
Tank fans be splitting up. Mitosis, bro.
He be in the room one way and come in another way. You know what I'm saying?
They divided. They don't know if they coming or going, bro.
Yeah.
Man.
And Combat Sports TV says
they multiplying.
Yo, listen. Next gen Combat Sports.
Mitosis. Split the imperial.
No doubt. Listen, Next Gen said them old fighters got brain damage if they even still alive. Okay. I hear you, man. Yeah, but listen, man, there's 2 separate parts of the conversation. There's the fighter and then there's the fan. So if you're speaking from the fighter's point of view, I understand what you're saying. But from a fan's point of view, I don't see how you win with that mentality. Ross Clott, 222. Keith Thurman ain't and has his KO since 2013. Let that sink in, church. But we got to pay $80 for it. I wonder, will you be paying for it? I don't know. Next Gen Combat Sports TV says, shit, Leonidas was a warrior in 300. Church.
He was.
Say less. Boxing Kangaroo says, Keith gonna kill Tim with inactivity. He's gonna murder him with inactivity. Shout out to you know what I mean? Boxing Kangaroo, when he has such a
you might need to find that ponytail, man.
Yeah. And you guys are saying a lot, man. Let me see here. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get to the rest of you guys, and then we're gonna keep politicking, keep building a little bit. But you guys have been awesome, really putting in a lot of good feedback, a lot of good things. I hope that you guys are appreciating the feedback. Please remember, if you're in the building, to hit the like button. Don't you come up in her and not wipe your feet and hit that like button, man. Hit that like button so I can get on the algorithm. We can make this channel what it's supposed to be. Because I promise you, in a year or 2, when you see where this channel is going to be, you're happy to know that you're a part of this process of building this up. We're really going to take boxing back, man, and we're going to talk about boxing, and we're not going to be gangbangers hating on each other.
I have to say that's one thing. That's one thing I definitely agree with. Coming from that side of the street, man, boxing got to come back to what it is.
Right.
The money's there. There's nothing wrong with the money, but man, let's get back to 3 fights a year. You know what I mean? There's plenty of money, but let's get these belts. Let's see everybody rock for these belts. Let's see the champions be champions.
Why not?
I don't care about the best fighter who's bringing the biggest bag. Like, you ain't buying me nothing, so why I care about your bag? I'm paying for your bag.
Right.
Get in there and fight, bro. Like,
even though you don't work for me.
Right. You know what I mean? I want to see. You're here to entertain me, and you're here to win a title, because that's what I want to see. Pause frequent, because I said entertain me, and I know what you're thinking. But at the end of the day, man, that's what they're here for, man. They're here to box in that square circle, and we're not getting what we want and what we deserve. We get promotional companies have flaws, but we've seen right now, while he Abdul Wahid taking a step out of the
Wahid,
box, right?
Wahid.
Yeah, I got you. Wahid taking a step out of his comfort zone, going across the street to make this fight with Conor Benn. So guess what? It can be done at the end of the day. That's all that matters.
Big
We got to get
facts.
that done, man. For real. We got to stop that. We got to stop hanging on to. He can fight cab drivers and guys who pick up at Home Depot or near the train station and get them in the ring for a bag to make a big pay-per-view. That don't matter to me no more, man. You got a guy calling you out, fight him. You had 3. This is now the 4th guy that called you out over the years that you didn't get in the ring with. I get it. You know what I mean? Not everybody's for you and not everybody's the money at the moment, but if that's what you're fighting for, then, man, go do that in the UFC. They make plenty of money, champion or not. Why do it? Why do it in boxing? Why ruin boxing? Yeah,
the best fight, the best in UFC. You ain't gonna get away with that in UFC because then they're gonna be like, I don't care who you want to fight. This is the next guy you're supposed to fight. Line that up. That's who you fighting.
Be a celebrity. Be a celebrity boxer. Get out of the sport if that's the case. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to anybody. I'm just tired of these fighters not fighting each other and looking for who needs the leverage and who needs. I don't care about that. That's something y'all supposed to handle outside of boxing, not in the back rooms of Twitter. Man, that's business talk. Y'all supposed to just talk shit to each other all day, every day. That's it. That's all I want to see. Get in the ring and show and prove.
Build big fights. Build big fights. That's it.
Seriously.
The biggest. Listen here. Rollo Green says Bradley. Ain't no way, yo. By the way, Rollo Green and Bradley, bro. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give you guys a segment at some point because you guys are like the OGs on each side of the fence. And when y'all get together, it's just like the OGs go at it.
Beefing down there.
Yeah, they classic. They classic. You know what I'm saying? Their debates be classic. Rollo Green said, Bradley, ain't no way I'm sending my $100 million man in there with a guy I feel that can beat him and take that away. I'd also tell him to stop poking the bear. Hey. Yeah, he's basically saying, man, if you scared for your man's life, you're gonna do whatever you can to protect your man. You know what I mean? So if you don't think that Tank Davis can compete on that level, if you think that competition and that order is a little too tall for your fighter and you want to protect him, of course you would pull all strings and anything you could do to make sure that you protect that fighter. And that's love right there. If I ever heard it before, that is definitely love. Ross Clot says, I'm not sugarcoating ish. Tank fights bums, period. Church. I mean, when that's what we call getting straight to it. Ross Clot. That's what we call getting straight to it. Ross Scott said, CK Ray Davis, my brother as well, man. I co-sign and resonate with that statement. Clubber Lang, Tank on some no belts, no fees, no mandatories, just bags. But he's also on some, add that to no competition. Add no competition to that list. So Tank on some no belts, no fees, no mandatories, just bags and no competition. Or low competition, however you want to look at it. Yeah, that's Ray Davis shouting out. Bradley, Rollo, who is the bear? I think we know who he thinks the bear is, Bradley. Soppy. Now you're being a little facetious. Right? You're being a little facetious. Right there. Next gen. I think Shakur def going to the zone. You see, he said he'll come out of retirement for that Ryan Garcia payday. Listen, man, we got to talk about this too now, right? Let's bring this up. When we talking about the zone, right? What are we talking about? When we talk about the zone, who are we talking about? So Eddie Hearns, right? We're talking about Matchroom, right? We're talking about even Golden Boy and De La Hoya, because he uses the zone platform to showcase his fighters. And what also are we talking about? And I know everybody hates this topic. Certain people hate this topic.
Don't forget Frank Warren.
Frank Warren, exactly. What are we talking about as well, though? We're talking about Saudi. We're talking about access to lucrative fights for these fighters. And no matter how the space or the fanatics of certain fighter may want to discredit the Saudis' ability to facilitate big fights, lucrative fights for their fighters, reality is going to be reality at the end of the day. And if there are conversations going on right now that are talking about hold on one second here. Okay, I'm cool. If there are conversations going on right now talking about PBC and Amazon's business structure, deal structure, not being lucrative for big fighters, right? Because not everybody can get money with the Saudi Arabians. We're talking about the biggest fights here. That's what they're interested in. They're interested in the biggest fights and making those big fights happen, making them happen, right? If the biggest fighters can't get the bags that they want, can't get the money that they want where they're at, forget about what you guys think about loyalty, about a black promotional company, about PBC, about Al Heyman, about everything he's done for fighters. Let me tell you something, man. Janet Jackson had a song before, and she was talking about this moment right now. She made that song for this. She just knew years ago she made it. What have you done for me? Listen, man. That's the realest thing that she ever said, man. And that's how it is, man. Thank you for what you did for me yesterday. But what have you done for me lately? I appreciate you, but what have you done for me lately? What are you doing for me?
And when you make that move, Bobby Brown followed that up, right?
Yeah. But Tias don't know how to say a lot. He know how to say Devin Haney a pussy. He know how to say Jermaine Ortiz. I mean, Teofimo is whatever. He know how to say that. But you know what else he knows how to say?
Rolly is a yoker.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he knows. He knows how to say. Okay.
I know Steven Espinoza was looking to other deals. I'm not saying it's him, but I think there's another dark horse we don't know that's probably going to be merging with the Zone. And that merge is going to be bringing fighters over as well, building that platform up. Remember, the Zone was the first major streaming boxing channel that we had. So they're goats at this now, and everything's going to streaming. And guess what? Them guys got the golden ticket. I think we're going to start seeing it. Top Rankings are. I mean, with ESPN, they made some moves. They've been doing pretty fine, but this is going to start showcasing a lot. I'm telling you, you're going to start seeing a lot because no one knows what Amazon's going to bring. Unfortunately, I like PBC, and we don't know what they're going to bring to the table. And not knowing what something like not knowing is what keeps you guessing. And when it keeps you guessing, people don't want to be there. They don't want to walk into the dark room and not know if it's a trap door or is it a bag of green. They don't know. So, you know what I mean? We'll see what happens.
We know what they bringing to the table. They bringing Keith Thurman to the table at a catch weight for no title.
For a headliner fight.
For the headliner, yeah. $80, bro.
That's bad.
Listen, man, let me tell you like this also. I believe if everything was squared away it was supposed to be, and you know, all these questions we had, I think they'd be answered. I think not a lot of times when you find a hard time, when you're having a hard time getting the answers, it's because the guy with the answers is trying to keep the answers away from you for whatever reason. You know what I mean? I think because they let out a lot of other stuff. We know when a lot of things are happening, right? But when it comes to these conversations, they get sensitive. You know what I mean? We'll never get the answers until, you know, it's time for us to have the answers. Rod Clot said, I don't pay for ish. I stream all these dudes' fights for free. You're the problem, Ross Clot. You're the problem.
If anybody, problem. Just make sure you get the Haney fight so we can get his numbers up. We need to see that fight with Tank.
Yes, sir. Rollo Green said, I think something happened between Floyd and Bill after the Loma fight. The energy has clearly changed between them. Yeah, I think there's no secret that Floyd and Bill have something going on in the background a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not far-fetched to say that, you know, the management and Devin Haney's success and what position or what role Floyd was supposed to play in that conversation may have a lot to do with how Floyd feels about Bill, because Bill definitely chose early in the game to walk away from that opportunity that was clearly there for Devin Haney to be where Gervonta Tank Davis is at. And, you know, Devin having any type of success could be rubbing Floyd in a negative way. And Bill definitely has no problem letting him know that your era is done as well. So, yeah, I agree. Something is going on there. Something definitely is going on there.
Right.
Oh, he said Rollo said Bill and Devin.
Oh.
Is that what you're trying to say? You're trying to say, so let me replace this here. I think something's happening between Bill and Devin after the Loma fight. The energy has clearly changed between them. Really? I don't know. You think so?
I think they're on the same timeline, man. They've been doing something great. I mean, especially after you've seen the responses that this dude did in that fight with Regis. I mean, look like they're on the same parallel.
Yeah, it look like they're okay, but you never know. Hey, man, Rollo, you clearly seen something. I don't know why you ain't hit that link and come up here and build with your boy.
Well, you know what it is.
There playing Bino secretive over there, you know what I'm saying? Hiding and stuff. Act like you scared of the smoke or something. Let me stop before he comes for me. Ross Clot, 222. Not all old fighters got brain damage. That's a dumb ass comment. A lot of them do though, Ross Scott. But I agree with you.
What comment he referring to though?
I don't know. Somebody up here said something about brain damage. I do remember. I feel like
it was saying that a lot of fighters didn't say all. So just to be clear,
right? Not all old fighters, but a lot of
them.
It
makes sense what he's saying but you got to remember they fought 5 times a year, and before that they fought 10 times a year, and before that they fought 15, 20 times a year, and they were fighting 15 rounds.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
You got to remember all that makes a difference back then. You know what I mean?
Right.
Less fights.
We're not asking them to fight completely like the old fighters, you know what I'm saying, or recklessly and putting their health to the wind. But I mean, and once again, listen, when you say stuff like that, it's like, oh, so Tank is risking his mental health and his to fight that. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's that serious for these fights we want.
Over 700 amateur fights. Of course he's risking his mental health. Come on.
And at this point, and we got to respect people's grown man privilege. What does that mean? If a person decides he wants to be in a sport where he can get injured, we got to assume that he's able to weigh that out for himself. It's not our job to weigh that out for him and protect him. It's our job as fans to ask for the biggest fights that we can see. Period.
They signed up for this, man.
That's what I just said. Look.
Yep, that's it. TR, what's salute, brother? What's good, man? TR, gave me some constructive, he was speaking to me the other day in Blues chat. And he was like, man, I hope you ain't getting discouraged, brother. He was like, get out there and he saw, I was like, yo, TR, nah, I ain't getting discouraged. You know what I'm saying? I just had some things, but I appreciate you, TR, for keeping me in your prayers and having faith in me and supporting this channel and its growth, man. I appreciate you more than you could know, brother. Thank you.
Let me tell you something. I'll be in Claymore ear all day, man. He know it. Claymore be trying to hang up on me. I call him right back.
Nah, man, we're gonna keep this train moving. It's a good energy over here. It's a good energy, man, and I want to keep this energy moving, man. We love boxing, and everybody on this channel who comes to this channel loves boxing. We don't all agree. Rarely do we all agree, but we love boxing enough to be able to stand in the same space and build on the sport that we love, man. And that's my vision for this, and that's what it'll be years to come. Clubber Lang liked. Okay, cool. Thank you, Clubber. Bradley 68, Rollo a bear with no claws and teeth. Well, you guys, listen,
man, you coming at him now, man.
These are like the uncles that come. These are the uncles that come to the party. You got to separate them after they had like too many shots of Hennessy. Somebody get Uncle Bradley. Somebody get Rollo. They up in there wilding out in the backyard
again.
They
fighting at the cookout.
Clay,
knocking stuff over. Somebody get them, man.
Clay, you know what it's like?
Yeah.
When your dad brother don't like your mom brother.
Yeah. You
know what together.
but they keep coming. They keep coming to Thanksgiving. They keep coming to the barbecue, even though they know they're gonna see each other. They keep coming. They keep coming.
They fight over the last spare rib, for real.
Like, yo, bro, I thought we made enough ribs for everybody, man.
Big Dre, go get that last rib. Take it from both of them.
Clubber Lang, Conor Ben signed a contract, bringing up Tank DV issues. Low blow. I believe DV stands for domestic violence. Listen, all is fair in love and war. When we got beef and it's time to fight, there's only one way to stop me from talking. Punch me in my damn mouth, bro. That's
Dre having technical
difficulties. Do that. Don't ask me.
No, yeah. Dre, we can't hear you, by the way. No.
Not at all. I don't know if you're trying to talk, but Rollo says a bear with 2 lineal. Shots fired. I'm gonna put it back up. Rollo said a bear with 2 lineal titles and an undisputed accolade and manager of the year, all under the so-called Faces watch. Lord have. That's how you fire a shot right there. That's how you talk about it. That's how you talk about it. When you want to talk about it, what did Will Smith? That's how you drive. From now on, that's how you drive. Let's see here, Bradley. You have to stop, player. Yo, you guys are them uncles.
Man, we get it. It's all good.
Y'all them uncles. Y'all them uncles every day of the week. Y'all them fighting uncles. Somebody get Uncle Rollo. Somebody beat it for Uncle Bradley. Shout out to the OG Rollo Green in the building.
coming from the Southwest Plains or Midwest Plains.
Yes, sir.
Salute, chat. What's up, fellas?
We doing
Green, what's up, man?
looking up in the chat, man, keeping it spicy for us. That's you know what I mean, keeping it spicy in there for us. How you doing, man?
You know, I'm good. You know, I'm the Hanos Clan pit bull, man. I only come out when, you know.
Oh,
listen.
When it gets tough, they sick me on them, man.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, he's behind the
Yeah,
gate
you
until
out here
he's not
making up
behind the
stories
gate.
like you claim I'm doing.
Come on, Big Dre. You talking about Tank
Rollo
didn't say
behind the
that,
gate
man.
until he's not behind the gate.
Hey, Tank clearly came out and said, I want Devin, he named a couple of them, but he wouldn't name Shakur. And then dude was like, Shakur? He was like, yeah, him too. But he named all them people, Big Dre. Then you gonna come up here and say, he didn't say their name. Big Dre, where you been? He been saying their names since
He was
2019.
spoon-fed them names.
He was throwing excuses.
He wasn't spoon-fed that.
Where you
He a
been,
grown man, number
Big
one.
Dre?
Let me get the remix to Excuses from
Hey,
Frequent
that
Flyers.
Bill and Devin comment, that was in response of who the Bears was. But far as Floyd and Bill getting into it, if you noticed, after the Loma fight, Bill started kind of getting more like he made the P. Diddy remark. You know what I mean? Basically, you a businessman. That's like you the promoter, and then you tell somebody he been P. Diddy. Everybody know that all P. Diddy's artists is complaining about what? Not getting paid. Right.
Right.
For Bill to come out and say that about Floyd, that's a different energy he ain't been carrying for the last 10 years against Floyd. He usually real respectful towards Floyd. But to call him P. Diddy, man, that's very disrespectful as a promoter. Saying that this promoter is beating these people out their money.
Yeah, and remember in one of those interviews, Bill was saying like the Mayweather era is over. If I'm not mistaken. He was. Rollo might be on or something.
Right. Yeah. But he never before has he came out and been against Floyd like it. You know what I mean?
There's something brewing, man. We'll get it. Listen, in time will tell. I always say just relax and let it just develop. We'll see what's going on. Going after a giant though like Floyd, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not going against Devin. I'm not going against Tank. Not going against Floyd. Floyd is a big
pause.
Stop. Let me finish. Historian of the game.
Rick would say before you even say it, I'm gonna get it out the way. Pause,
historian of the game, man. He lives boxing. He's all for boxing. Now, as far as the business side, I'm not in Floyd's head. I don't know how that stuff works over there and how it generates. But at the end of the day, we gotta understand that he likes boxing. He wants to see the big fights too. Now, did he move his fighter the way he wanted to move him? Absolutely. Why? Because he already
Floyd like to see big fights.
Yeah, because he knew how he moved and how he was moving and how it captured his motion, like his money. So when he's seen all that, like, yo, I'm gonna move you the same way. We're gonna get you up here. We're gonna get this bread, and when the time comes, we'll get you the right fights. But we ain't seeing the right fights, and it looked like they're already separated from each other. So will we ever get the right fights is really the question. But as far as Floyd and Bill, I mean, it's a sad thing, but just when you got a juggernaut like that, man, you gotta be careful because some people got more connections than you know. And I know Bill talks to everybody, but he can get frozen out, so you got to chill with that.
Yeah, I think Bill has two mountains behind him who have spoken to him in a way that have empowered him and made him feel confident and made him feel like he doesn't need anything, which I don't think is smart because nothing is forever and you never know what can happen. Right. But I do believe also, if you guys got to be honest about it, the boldness seems to be aligned also with his relationship with Saudi. That he feels he brings up his excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh a lot in his conversation, and he might be feeling like I don't need you guys no more. And now I'm going to start telling you guys how I really feel. Right. You know what I mean?
Not to mention that he got access to top rank in Matchroom, so and Oscar. He has access to all these guys. So
he's like, we never need to do no business ever again. And he might also know things about this structured deal between PBC and Amazon that we are not aware of.
It's a big secret.
Right. But I mean, he might just be aware of it on a more knowing basis. You know what I'm saying? As a promoter, as somebody who has conversations with Eddie Hearn consistently, because Eddie Hearn, you guys can say whatever you want about him, man. He knows what's going on outside. He can speak when he speaks on things. He's not lying. I don't really see him lying like that. I know people would love to put it on him, but I don't see him lying like that. So if Eddie Hearn is letting him know what's going on, he might know a lot of things going on in the background that other people don't. He might be letting Floyd and them know, like, I already know you guys ain't who y'all say y'all are today in 2024. Right. You guys are just not those guys no more, bro. And Tom gonna tell that story better than anybody in the conversation can tell that story.
Correct.
Fans so happy Tank getting money, he ain't Cash App or Zelle any of his fans. Laugh my ass off, bro. That is a fact. I co-sign that. That's just the truth, man. You guys better understand that, man. You guys get so caught up on protecting his money, protecting his health, protecting his A-side interest. You guys are so bold in speaking for this man, but this man is not pulling none of y'all out of y'all 9-to-5s or feeding none of your kids or putting them through school. So I'd be more concerned about him fighting. And I'd be concerned about him sitting there over a year not fighting. I'd be like, brother, F all that you talking about. When you fighting next? Because that's what I'm concerned about. If you're not fighting, don't talk to me, bro. I don't care about none of your money, none of the Ferraris, none of you grabbing your girlfriend off the basketball court. You living life, your $20,000 purses. Listen, bro, I don't care about none of that, man. When you fighting next?
Yeah, when's the next fight, and how can we get the price down? Because
yeah.
These prices,
and all of y'all Tank fans who want Tank to fight, who y'all want him to fight, who do you think you are, bro? He don't work for you, bro. Stop complaining, man. Just buy the fight. He don't have to fight who you want him to fight.
I don't care who he fight. I'm just complaining about the price of the show.
You're not supposed to care who he fight, okay? He can fight who he want to fight, bro.
He can fight who he want to fight. I just complaining about
he don't work for you. You might pay for the pay-per-views, and that's how he get his money, but he don't work for you, bro.
Again, I'm just complaining. Freaking, you're going down the wrong road, man. I'm just complaining about the price. I don't care who he fights.
Why not?
I do.
He can fight freaking flying,
because we just want to see him, bro.
If I see him fight,
we just fanboys. We just want to see him. Right. We don't care who he fight, bro. He don't got to fight nobody.
Man, I care.
I'd rather see him beat Rollo around the ring, but
Yo, bro, I swear, man, I'm not gonna say on sworn God because I got too much respect. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Straight up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, he better not ever ask freaking Fire to fight. That's cap. That's cap.
Stop complaining, bro. Stop complaining.
Yeah, cap. I'm not trying to hear
Be happy you get to see him fight, bro. Make sure you pay that $80, man.
I don't care, bro, and I ain't paying to see him punch back.
I'll pay the $80 if he kicking Rollo's ass around the ring.
Rollo too, okay. Man. I don't want to fight Rollo or
a lot of people pay.
Come on,
if he's good at that 140, he most definitely don't want this 200 pounds of muscle. He most definitely don't want this 5'10", 200 pounds of muscle.
Rollo, a lot of people pay a lot of money to see Tank beat you up, bro. A lot of people out there.
I got 200 on Rollo. Rollo out of his weight class.
Yeah, you better put your money on Rollo because I'll crush that little dude.
That little dude will sidestep you and how you look like Rolly.
Okay,
he too little for Rollo, man.
A lot of people put a lot of value on boxing, and they don't care. It could be a 300-pound dude. I don't care. He's gonna get beat up. He gonna get
too little.
He gonna get washed. He gonna get washed. He better stay in the ring. Go get his big brother to come holler at somebody.
Yeah, he's too little, man. He's 160 pounds.
Yeah. He's gonna hit me a couple of times. I'm gonna be like, ouch, damn.
I'm 200 pounds.
I'm gonna wear him out.
If you ain't got no gloves on, yeah, it's a different story. But
right.
I don't know, Rollo. He got some gloves on. I think he got you, man.
Oh yeah, in the ring, he's gonna piece you up, Rollo. I mean, you ain't supposed to say that. I'll say that for you. You're supposed to feel like you can, but yeah, he gonna piece you up in that ring.
I don't know about that little 135 pounds.
Of the biscuit, baby.
No, he's gonna be a solid 160 when he get in there with you, bro.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see. Next Gen says, I think PBC is in a good position. Okay, but they gotta see what the casual fan base like. That's why they threw out this pay-per-view just to check the temperature. Yeah, they want to see how stupid their fan base is. I feel you. They want to see if their fan base, if their fan base buy this pay-per-view and it does well, guess what? We're gonna see a whole lot more of these trash pay-per-views.
You know what will be the next fight?
Big facts. Shout out to anyone who's paying to see Keith Thurman laugh my ass off. You're a real MVP paying to see him.
I'm not paying for that fight, bro.
Listen, I'm not promising I won't because I'm a boxing fan, but I promise if I do, it's going to be a bad taste in my mouth.
I'm going to the barbershop around the corner. No, I'll be here. I gotta watch. I gotta be here. So
we don't know what we're gonna do. I won't say I won't, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it will be under distress. Rollo Green. Oh, I'm not going. Rollo's on here, so I'm going to read your Bradley. Rollo, is Devin your cousin? Is Tank your nephew? Church. Let's see here. TR, Devin, Bradley laughing. Oh, I got Bradley to laugh. Salute, Bradley. Salute, man. That's what's up, man. Devin don't have Tito closing, you know it. Whatever, man. Whatever, bro. Let me see. Tank fighting bums. I can't believe these people still listen to yours truly. I blocked his channel a long time ago. Yeah. I hear you, brother. Let's see here.
Listen, that channel does put out some knowledge. I mean, it's not always. It's not
false
knowledge.
Let me tell you. When a guy has to call, I don't have nothing against him. Besides the fact that sometimes he uses people to bring up on the channel to build himself up and make himself look good. He has a good following. His following believes everything he says. He pushes a lot of narratives. I had to take a stand. You know, I used to ride. I still ride with him, but you know, I had to take a stand. Like, yo, some of the stuff you're saying is not 100%. Like, you're giving your opinions. I don't even want to talk about it. Listen, at the end of the day,
let's leave it where it's at, man. God bless that man. Hope everything works out for him. Right. He ain't for everybody, that's for sure. And neither am I, neither any of us, man. But over here, anyway.
All boxing.
Ain't no mute button over here, Big Dre and Bradley.
I don't even know where it's at. Ain't nothing but
tombstones over here.
That's
if you're rooting for Tank and
gunshot, big gunshot.
Look, Tank, I ain't got no problem with Tank, Rollo. I root for Tank. I just don't see him beating Devin.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So everything that you can say about Tank against Devin is going to be false.
But Kenny,
wait, guys. Bradley actually finally, I got a Tank fan who told me who they want to see Tank fight.
Awesome.
Yo, shout out to Bradley 68 who stepped out on the ledge and said, you know what? I would rather see him fight T.O. Okay.
That's a good fight. That's a good fight.
That's a good fight right there.
I ain't going for that.
I would pay for it.
So you cool with him going to 140 fighting the guy that been at 140 for 3 or 4 fights. You see what I'm saying? Listen, you cool with that with no problem with rehydration, but you don't want him to fight Devin. Just say y'all scared of Devin then. If you cool with him going to 140 and fighting T.O.
I would at least, you know what I want them to do, Rollo? I want them to at least say they don't want him to fight Devin. Say that. We'll put our own twist and figure out why they didn't want it. That'll be the next conversation. We'll take 6 months to get that out of them. But for right now, can you guys at least admit that you don't want him to fight?
Say that. You're exactly
I would love to see him fight Devin. I would love to see him fight Devin at 140 with no rehydration clause. I mean, listen. It's
bringing them out, Rollo. I'm telling you, when you give them the space and you make them comfortable and they get to talk their mind for real and they don't start thinking about other things, they say stuff.
Yeah,
wait a minute now. Because
it's documented that he has said the opposite
on other shows and not the person.
So I got it. Who are we talking to? Is this a clone or what? What's going on? What you do with Big Dre? What you do with the Big Dre that's on the morning channel?
Now wait a minute now, Rollo. Hold on, Rollo. Because see, when we were talking the other morning, I was defending the position and not the person. We were talking about fair fights now.
But when you're going to defend yourself as a fan, defend yourself as a fan. Defend yourself as a fan. You defend him, defend you. What do you want? What do you need to see?
Hold on. Do all due respect, this man is representing the guy from his state, so I kind of understand where he's coming from. He's from the state of Maryland. He's representing Tank. He rides with Tank, and nothing wrong with that. I got him.
Let him finish talking, Ray.
Let him go
ahead. He's about to talk some. Go ahead, Dre. He's this close. You got to let it go. You done gave him a reason to go back.
Dre, go ahead, Dre. Put my tank symbol up. Come on.
Go ahead, Dre.
Again, the other morning, I was defending the position. We were talking about weight classes. We were talking about fair fights. I was defending the position and not the person.
Right.
Now, I'm a boxing fan. I've been a boxing fan for a long time. Like I said, I'm an old man. And as an old man, I'd like to see the fights. Hell, last Friday, I watched some up-and-comers. I watched this guy, Justin, the Quiet Storm Smith, on DAZN. I thought that was a good fight. Man can't hear. He's deaf. And it was a good fight. On the 24th, I will be up the road in Hanover, Maryland, at Live Casino, watching live boxing. And hopefully I will have me a very good seat because I usually get something close to the front. Hell, I've had some ringside seats. I've been inside the barriers before. So, hey, I like boxing. I want to see the fight. You know, pugilistics all day long. I want to.
You don't care where it happens, right? You just want to see the fight.
I don't care
right?
where it happens. We can have it be, you know, in somebody's backyard in Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
You know, the Staples Center. You know, we can have the fight. I don't care. I want to see the fights. You know, I want to see the fights, and I like to see the best fight the best. And if Tank got to go to 140, he's been to 140, been there, done that, took home a belt to prove it. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Like I said, I was defending the position and not the person.
The position is flawed, though, and that's what I'm trying to tell Ray.
The position is the position, no matter no matter what names you put in.
You're taking
in the position.
Tank said it's from a flawed position, so you can never be right. It's just truth against fake.
Wait a minute, how you calling me fake?
Because everything y'all saying, come on, man. Since when did we have to go through this in boxing? It's just from a flawed position. So if you're on Tank's side, what can you tell me why this fight ain't happening from his point of view? It's a flawed position because it's sickening. It's sickening, man. When I go in the gym, man, we sickened by this. It's sickening, man. The position that you come from defending Tank's side.
Rollo?
Hold on, let me just read this real quick. Next Generation Combat Sports TV says, who's Devin fighting next? Ryan Risky. Right now, Conor Ben looking like it's not happening, and Sandor Martin basically taking a step back. I mean, that's a good question, man. The reason I put this up on the screen because I was interested in this question. I said that to myself. Who's Devin going to fight right now? Ryan seems like first of all, it's risky. Second of all, it doesn't seem like Devin and his team are really happy with what Ryan's offering or what Ryan is asking for as far as quote unquote A side position, all that stuff that he's bringing to the table. Conor Ben, it looks like he's got his eyes focused on potentially Gervonta Tank Davis, until Tank finally reveals that he's playing, because I think he is. I don't think he really wants that fight. And Sandor Martin, I don't know if he's basically taking a step back. I guess you have information that will coincide that. But, I also know that he has time to fight Sandor Martin, that he doesn't have to fight Sandor Martin next. So you guys on the panel, what do you think is a good fight? What do you see Devin Haney going for his next fight? Because he also needs to be active.
Well, personally, I think he should go ahead and write up the contract with Sandor Martin and get that mandatory out the way. Then he's free to fight anybody. Nobody can say anything about who he fights or where he fights or call him a duck for stepping around or trying to step over or bypass Sandor Martin. Take the fight. Get that fight out the way. Go in. You've been making improvements, and if you watch the fight from Haney Kambosos 1 to Haney Kambosos 2, Loma, and then Regis, you'll see Devin making progress in all kinds of ways. It really became evident during the Loma fight because Loma kept him on his back foot and off balance for most of the fight. Except for when he didn't want to, when Loma didn't want to press the issue. I think if Loma had kept pressing the issue, Devin didn't have anything for him when Loma was coming forward. He couldn't handle him off the back foot. Now, fast forward to the Regis fight. Regis was coming forward, and he was just pot shotting him left, right, and sideways. Somebody came into his camp and gave him some better instruction on how to fight off the back foot. And he became a much better fighter on the back foot than he was against Loma.
All right. I disagree.
Totally.
So I'm going to tell you why I disagree. The game plan was not to sit there and tailor make that Loma fight the way that he beat Kambosos. The fact that Loma just fought a similar fighter in Jermaine Ortiz, he came off of that with a success in the later rounds. So I think Bill's plan was to go to the body, stick in the pocket, and challenge Loma because he didn't believe he had the power to knock Devin out. So they stood there to make that fight more exciting. Aside from that, because they figured it out, Loma had his ways at certain points of that fight, making it an interesting fight. But Devin still was able to capitalize with hooks and jabs off from following the body shots that he did and terrorizing that rib cage that he actually took care of on Loma. Believe it or not, that man went to the hospital for his ribs. He damaged his face and things of that nature. So it was what it looked like, but it wasn't what it was supposed to be because he didn't have to go out the back with that fight. He stood in the pocket with him. He's a smaller fighter. Now when he fought Regis, he knew how to fight Regis because Regis is flat-footed a little bit. He doesn't have great footwork, and he just comes forward. So it's an easier fight. It's almost like him fighting Matias. Matias would be the same way, except for Matias actually can walk you down and close off the ring. Can he do it against Devin? I don't know. I haven't seen Devin fight somebody like Matias. Maybe Linares pretty much, and he washed Linares so until the clip on the chin in the 11th round. But it is what it is, bro. Like I said, I don't see him any way, shape, or form having that type of trouble with Loma if he had stuck to his guns and he went and wanted to fight him with the jab. He could have kept that distance and did the same thing easily. But they chose to do it a different way, and it just backfired. It happens.
Yeah. I agree. Well, first of all, Rollo, what do you think his next fight should be, man?
His next fight should be, if it's not going to be Ryan, because he deserved that bag that Ryan going to bring him. But Ryan's a low B class fighter. But if it ain't going to be Ryan for the bag, then he need to fight Matias, man. You say you want the best. You say you're on the mission for that. We want Matias. Ain't he just coming to Matchroom is what I heard?
He just came, but he's supposed to be lining up a fight with Liam. What's his name?
Liam Parra.
Liam Parra is what supposedly
they need to make that fight happen. He need to fight because who else he gonna fight?
That's a good
at
pick,
140.
Man.
Like I say, he should get his mandatory out the way. I mean, they can make that fight happen in 45 days.
I know. I expect that coming from a Tank fan because you don't want to see him. Y'all don't want to see him do nothing great.
I want to see him fight.
So y'all want him to fight Sanders. Y'all know
Tank
want him safe, and y'all want him to gain another accolade. But I ain't on that. I want him to go get another belt, fight Tank, or I accept the Ryan fight because we need him to do a nice pay-per-view so we can get that excuse off the table for dude now. You see what I'm saying?
Rollo, again, see, I want him to fight. I want him to be able to fight whoever, okay? But I also want him to. I don't want him to be in the middle of negotiations, and then Sandor step up and screw that all to hell.
Screw what up? Listen.
Sandor is the mandatory.
I know. Let me get this out the way for y'all.
Fighting for a belt, so you can take Matias off the table because he's look like he's lining up with Paro, okay. Rolly doing is already lined up with
Pitbull.
Right. Okay. So there's no other champions there's nobody else on the table for him to fight as a champion. Okay. So as a unification fight. So get that mandatory out the way. Like I said, they can probably get that mandatory. They can do that contract and have that fight rolling in 45 days.
Man, listen. If you think that the WBC or Sandor Martin ain't gonna get out the way for Ryan and Devin fight that's gonna do how many pay-per-views you think? At least 500,000. How much is that gonna generate for the WBC at that 3%? A fight with Sandor Martin or a fight with Ryan? How much
The
is they
man,
going? How much
Sandor
of the
said
pay
he wants.
aside?
Sandor said he wants to fight. He not taking
Come
step
on,
aside
man.
money. So
Listen,
go on
man.
in there, get that fight over with. Like I said,
Y'all,
he can have that fight done in 45
y'all
days,
not.
man.
That's not rational, man. So you're telling me that a guy that probably never made more than $200,000 in a fight, right, is not going to step aside for a $60 million fight? They're going to do $500,000, we'll say, Ryan and Devin. Can we say that? From the Ryan effect, because Devin don't sell. From the Ryan effect. Let's say they do $300,000. You don't think Sanders' check going to be bigger than the step aside money? He ain't got no too much. That is his payday. Once Devin beat him, it's a wrap for him. You know, he probably will take 3 more step aside checks.
If
As long as they big fights, y'all tripping, man. Y'all tripping, man.
I'm not tripping. I'm just saying what the man said. The man said he don't want step aside money. He want to fight.
He said that last time though. He took it for a 30,000 pay-per-view fight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, look, guys.
It's his business. You think he ain't taking that step aside money? You tripping? You think the WBC want to? Listen, hold on. You think the WBC want 3% of a Sandor Martin fight, or 3% of a Ryan Garcia fight? Which one you think they want?
They want the bag. Everybody want the bag.
Or do you think they really care about the rankings?
Everybody want the bag.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah. Devin wants the bag. He was all out there saying he want to fight for belts. He want to fight for legacy.
He got all the belts, Dre. What the hell? What's wrong with you people? He got all the belts, Dre.
Let me shine some light on this, guys, and let Claymore get back to cooking because Claymore wanted to say something. So, yes, Devin did what he did with the belts. To Big Dre's point, Devin did say when he moved up that he don't mind being a champion, but he already did the undisputed thing. He wants to be paid. So he did say that, and he did say he wants the bag. So is he chasing the bag? I don't know. Does he believe he can make big fights? Yes. So those are two different things. So both of you actually have good points and strong points, but at the end of the day, it's we don't have an answer to that because we don't know really. Besides Devin saying that it's all about the money now. He already did submitted the legacy, and he's going to build on that. Now he may go up to 147 after he get a couple of dollars or build his name, and then go back for belts. We don't know that. But the future only can tell us.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I agree. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on 1 second, right? So I think both statements are legitimate. I think that Sandor Martin is a legitimate option, clearly. Nobody has to worry about Sandor Martin being an option now. But, you know, Bill Haney did say that they're interested in making the biggest fights, and that's what they're focused on. And Sandor Martin it doesn't fall under that category. So it's fair to say that as far as interest is concerned, if they don't have to fight Sandor Martin, they probably won't. They have up to 11 months to defend the mandatory against Sandor Martin. They don't have to fight him next. I know there's this narrative going around that he can't make any other fights, that the only fight he can't fight nobody until Sandor Martin. That's just not true. There's ways around that. Now, as far as the Matias fight is concerned, that probably would be Devin Haney's next biggest fight that he can put together outside of, you know, the people that he wants to fight, being the Ryan Garcias, the Conor Benns, the Teofimo Lopez's, you know, fights like that. Teofimo might even be a little realistic as well after this fight tomorrow. Maybe that might be something that can be put in the conversation. But as far as making the big fights, I think the Haney team has made it clear that, you know, I've asked Bill Haney, you know what I'm saying? And he told me, you know, championship fights and mandatories and all that things are great and everything like that. But in this chapter, they have time to get back to that. He referenced Terrence Crawford's career and that he didn't become a 2-time undisputed champion until his mid-30s. Devin is in his mid-20s. There's time to get back to that right now he's focused on getting the biggest fights put together. And if we're talking about the biggest fights put together, Puerto Rico, Black American, that can be a big fight. Also trying to find a fight that can happen over there in Saudi, because I think Devin Haney and Bill Haney are very concerned, and they want to make a fight in Saudi. They want to get that payday. So finding that right dance partner to go to Saudi is a big deal as well. And that's where Conor Benn comes into conversation, or potentially a Teofimo Lopez. But I do understand that Sandor Martin wouldn't hurt him. It gives him more rounds in the ring. He's going to get better. He's going to sharpen up on the tools that are dull. It's just going to make him better if he does that. But respecting what the Haneys want and what they've said and stated that they want, it doesn't align right now, in my opinion, with what they want to get done.
Correct.
I agree. It doesn't align with what they want, you know. But my thought is, you know, he's got this period of inactivity, and it's going to be another period of inactivity while, you know, the other players at 140 get the fights done that they're doing now.
Right.
He can get that fight. He can get that fight with Sandor Martin done. He can get the contract in. They can have a 4-week camp and be ready to go and have that fight done in 45 days.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
It's easy. That's just the, you know,
I agree.
a quick sign on the dotted line, and let's go to camp. Let's get it done, get it in, and then you are free to fight whoever. And it doesn't make a difference. And because he is currently not obligated to a distribution platform, he can fight anywhere. And
Right,
yes,
right.
you know, if they want to go to Saudi and get that bag, you know,
They're free to do so, clearly.
Matias will be a great dance partner.
Yeah, yeah.
Tio would be a great dance partner.
Tio would be a great dance partner. So even Conor Benn would be a great dance partner, believe it or not.
Right. I mean, they can make it happen.
In the UK.
And like I said, they can get that. They can get this mandatory thing done and over with, be out the way. It could have been done by now already. He could have been just like, "Hey, let's get it in. Let's get it done." Like I said, I think they can get that done in 45 days.
No doubt. Let me read this real quick. Big Sarge said, I mean, I was going to read Richard Paris, but I think it kind of got addressed already, but I'll read it anyway. Big Dre was complimenting Devin's growth, and I agree with Big Dre. Devin was struggling against Loma. Don't forget, he was asking Bill for answers in the corner. 100%, man. There was adversity in that fight, without a doubt.
Right.
With Loma. Okay, go ahead.
The answer thing was not what you thought it was. Bill asked him, when he came to that corner, what does he see? He told him, I think he's figuring this out. That was a response to a question. Go back and watch the fight. It is there. And it's
right. I agree. It wasn't Devin coming in and like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to do. It was definitely an answer to Bill's question. That was what that was. Big Sarge. And by the way, salute Richard Paris. Thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate you showing up and showing some support, man.
That's
I really
my
do.
brother, man.
Big Sarge 31. I wouldn't mind Devin fighting Sandor Martin next if he can get Ryan. I wouldn't mind Devin fighting Sandor Martin next if he can't get Ryan Garcia and make it look better than what Tio did against Sandor. Okay, you know what I mean? I think if Sandor Martin and Bill and Devin Haney get set up a fight, I think we all agree that we're gonna watch the fight. You know what I mean? Nobody's gonna boycott the fight or sit there and cry about it. But once again, just taking into consideration of what's the more likely next choice is based on what the Haneys have said, that the Bill Haney specifically, to be honest with you, but even Devin have stated what they want to do. And once Sandor Martin just doesn't seem to line up with their mission statement right now. Ross Clott says, forget that money talk. Who responding to the dude in the left corner, that's Dre, mandatory is necessary. Okay. Yeah.
Nah.
I think that's
hey, look, we don't want that Sandor Martin fight. That's just another attempt for the haters to say, he only did this so much. He wasn't even a gate with Sandor Martin. Can you imagine what they're going to say about the draw of a Sandor Martin fight?
But the Sandor Martin fight is a mandatory. You can say we only did that because we had to.
I know it, but that's the narrative the other side's trying to push. That's why y'all pushing this. So you might not know it, Big Dre, but that's why the Martin fight is being pushed so much by the other side, because it's not a big draw. It's who he's fighting to the world to keep him off the face of boxing's tail. But I tell you what, listen, Al, this is what we'll take. We'll take Matias, right? And then you can feed us the winner of Rolly and Pitbull and let us unify them titles. And that'll keep us off a Tank for 2024. Then y'all gonna have to come up with it. I came up with y'all 2024 plan to keep protecting, dude. But by 25, we're gonna beat them, and then y'all gonna have to come up with something else to protect them, man.
No doubt, no
doubt.
Let me just read.
That's what the Hanos plan is. That's the deal we sending Al now, man. We sick of it.
That's the deal you sending? All right, that's cool.
Feed us Matias and Pitbull, and we'll leave Tank alone.
Listen, Bradley 68. I think Is he talking about you, Ray? I like when Bradley, listen, when Bradley 68 drops a compliment or says something good about anything going on his channel, I gotta highlight it and I gotta say it out loud. Period. He said, this what I like about this channel. The co-hosts don't agree with every topic the host speaks on. Yeah, bro. We definitely do that, man. We definitely do that all day, man. And I appreciate you recognizing that about us, man. We want to be authentic in here. Not everything, you know what I'm saying? We don't agree on everything, 100%.
Yeah, we play fair, but, you know, it's out of respect.
100%. Respect is always a foundation here. And once respect is established, everything else falls into place. So I want to salute and bring in the inevitable D-Block, D-Town, D-City, D-Ville. You got a really long name, brother. But shout out to D-Block. How you doing, brother? Last time D-Block was in the building, he was spitting that venom. You know what I'm saying? How you doing today, brother?
My brothers, thank you so much for letting me in the show. I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit that like and subscribe button. Y'all already know what's up. We doing it here. We getting it rough. We getting in that shit. It's D-Block, D-Town, D-City, D-Ville, Baltimore. Thanks.
Let's get it. Let's get it with the intro too. With the intro,
I love it, man.
Right.
It's coming. It's, you know, we right here talking about reality of boxing. You know what I was just seeing right now, guys? I was seeing Mike Tyson in the press conference the press conference for Lennox Lewis. Man, he went at that white guy. He said, "You can't, you know, I'll eat you and you'll love it." You know what I mean? Like he went straight up King Kong. I mean, he went fucking Godzilla on his ass, man.
He made it awkward for everybody who's been watching it. I remember seeing that thing live, and it got real quiet in the room I was in. Everybody just got real quiet, like
it's like an anthem, you know? It was like the rage just coming out. So this is what I'm trying to say. So they're trying to say Wahid Davis is Mike Tyson, this version of Mike Tyson. He's our Mike Tyson. Can you imagine Tank Davis with them fake ass teeth that he got on? Can you imagine him talking like that? Can you imagine that coming out of him? You know what I mean? And they try to compare him to Mike Tyson. But Mike Tyson was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He beat everybody. And he lost it to certain fighters that were great in their own era. You know what I mean? He took the challenge. He wasn't scared of nothing. So tell me why people are trying to compare Tank Davis to Mike Tyson. Can you give me that answer, my brother?
I can answer that.
And do you agree?
Well, I can answer that because if you look at the fighting style of Tank,
what's up, Eastside?
He comes in. He's got that same type of swagger. Once he's in the ring, he's got that good defense, and he gets hit more than Mike did, but he's got that strong chin because he's been hit a few times, and you know that left has put some people in the dreamland, looking just like Mike, you know, and I think you know he is a much smaller version. And he's got that composure. He don't say a whole lot if he don't have to. He let his gloves do the talking in the ring. And there are some people who are genuinely afraid of him.
Yeah.
Same as Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the commonality is definitely there in the ways that it is, but I think there's also some. I think I understand where D-Block is coming with it, but 100%, I think it's hard to not see the similarities between him and Mike Tyson. I think there's a potential similarities between him and Mike Tyson, and there's the things that he actually does that are similar to Mike Tyson. And I think these fights that we're asking him to get into kind of give an opportunity for him to, you know, cement those comparisons in a great way. Let me see here. No, that was you. The fighter has worked. Roscott says that the fighter has worked his way to a mandatory position. He should get that title fight. Man, Roscott, you already know, bro. Look at what's going on with Canelo and on David Benavidez. We already know that's not how the world works. Richard Parrish says Devin tries to grow his stock. He want to make himself more marketable and have leverage for the big fights, but I see Tank and Floyd and them strategically blocking Haney's good options. Yeah, man, I think there's games being played, and I agree with you, Richard Parrish. There are games being played that I don't know how favorable they are to boxing, man. I just, you know what I mean, I question it. You know, I'll bring it up. How good is this for boxing? I see the games that are being played. Even earlier, I remember Big Dre talking about what he wanted to see as far as fighters fighting more frequently, as far as the activity is concerned. And the way these fighters are the politics they're playing, that they think that the best way to deal with their issues is to starve the fan base of fights that they want rather than give the fan base the fights that they want. And at the same time, fight the people who are giving them the most issues, the people who they really want to punch in their face. I don't know how good that is for boxing, man. It seems kind of toxic for me, to be honest with you. Let's see. Eastside, what's good? Claymore, what's good, man? Big Sarge says Tank doesn't say a lot because he's limiting his vocabulary, to be honest. Okay. All right, man. We can leave it at that, man. You know what I mean? I'm not going to clown him, but yeah, man, I think Tank not speaking a lot and not participating. He doesn't seem comfortable. He seems socially awkward a little bit. And maybe even when he talks a little bit, he got a little bit of like a youth type of energy to his voice that I don't know how confident he is in his ability to communicate the way he wants. He looks like he wants to get real street when he's talking, and he does a lot better on Twitter and, in the comfort of his home and where he can say what he wants and talk as reckless as he wants. But when he's in front of like actual mics and press conferences and things like that, he is reluctant to share a lot and give us what's on his mind. But one thing he's shared in the past couple of days that he definitely willing to fight Conor Ben, right? So Richard Paris, Tank may not be well educated, but he's very intelligent, cerebral in the ring. I agree. That's a fact. Floyd is given the blueprint on Money Mayweather, not Pretty Boy blueprint. How you feel about that, though, Bradley? Is that good for boxing? You know what I mean? That's good for boxers, getting boxers paid as much as they can get paid. I agree with you on that. That is great for boxers, you know what I'm saying? But how good is that for boxing? And you as the fan, how much are you benefiting off of the Money Mayweather blueprint versus the Pretty Boy blueprint? I'll leave that to everybody to make up their own mind how they feel about that. How do you guys feel about that in the panel? Floyd giving the blueprint to the Money Mayweather and not to the Pretty Boy blueprint. What do you guys feel about that?
Well, the Pretty Boy blueprint was, let's get in here, let's get this done, and make it happen. And he made it happen, and he worked hard, and he fought everybody, and he won, he beat everybody. Then he realized that, wait a minute, I can get up here and make this money. And then he turned into Money Mayweather. And he still got in the ring, and he still fought, and he still won the fights. The difference is he was a lot less active, and he was getting paid a lot more. I think he strung people out to create the interest and make sure that he got that big bag when he did fight. So, I mean, that's my opinion. I may be wrong.
Okay. And what about anybody else? Got any comments? Or is everybody kind of paused? You got anything on that?
I could touch on that a little bit. Listen, Floyd not giving it the reasons of why he wasn't given the I don't know why I can't say his name. So the reason why he did Money Mayweather is because he wants the and not to be disrespectful to mine, he wants to help the community of the black fighter. He wanted to show that they can get money. And he wanted to pass that down and share that with them. That's why he tried to build the promotional company to bring them in, to show them that, we don't have to keep, because he obviously left Top Rank, he left Oscar, to show them that we don't have to keep doing it for other people. We can actually, go do it on our own. As far as him being Floyd Mayweather, I don't know why I can't think of his name, and I do know
Pretty Boy.
Thank you. Pretty Boy Floyd that was just an alter ego of him building himself up to be who he needed to be. Thank you for that too. Pretty Boy was just he was arrogant, but yet at the same time, Pretty Boy was actually liked. Money Mayweather wasn't liked because Money Mayweather became the industry's most hated person in the world. Why? Because he was able to make more money than any other boxer at that time. Remember, he took a fight with Oscar to make less to end up making more. So that was him trying to show people like, yo, this is our showcase. This is what we can do. Let's bring our brothers together. Let's make this fight happen. And you know what? We're going to go on all those other channels. I mean, not channels. So all these other nationalities, we're going to beat them. And then we'll save our fighters for the end. because I think that's what he wanted to do. Is he wanted to build that stable up with black fighters, and now we see that he's using Brown as well.
Right.
So we'll see what That's the way I see it. That's the difference.
Let me ask you a question though. Well, first of all, Rollo, did you want to tap into that topic?
Yeah,
Or
I think that he's taking Tank the Money Mayweather route, right? Because he's controlling his career. So that's how he built Tank so fast, with Tank having the worst resume amongst the other kings. I don't count Ryan as a king. Put Loma in his spot, right? Of their time being at the same weight classes. When you look at it, Tank got the worst resume out of T.O. and Devin and Loma, right? But he's somehow way above them when it comes to making money. That's because Floyd Mayweather's done it, been there, done that. You see what I'm saying? But what we're missing is Devin. He's doing it the pretty boy way. The only problem is he was taught by the Money Mayweather mind. So when you see him go in there and dominate Cambosos 10-2, we say, he's boring. But that's the Money Mayweather man that taught him how to box. You see what I'm saying? The Money Mayweather man taught Devin how to box, not the pretty boy Floyd Mayweather man. So that's why you can see him go in there and just dominate a 10-2 round, dominate Regis 13-0. He ain't around. Plus take his knockdown to go with it because I got a little weight up now. You see what I'm saying? So we watching Devin do what Floyd did his whole career. He came up the right way. Champion at 20, 21, collect a few belts, beat a couple of solidified champions in Loma and Regis. You see what I'm saying? He's doing it the right way. He's just so young doing it. And then another way he's going to become the Floyd is because Floyd we had to go against the machine. Bob and De La Hoya, they didn't want Floyd and TMT to become promoters and take all and be more related to the black fighters. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Floyd went against the machine. That's why he was hated, because the machine hated him. And they tried to push against him, but he was already in the culture. We loved him. So he was Floyd. So that's how he was able to turn into Money Mayweather. And that's what's happening with Devin and Bill. They going against the machine. Just so happened the machine is Floyd and Al now, along with De La Hoya and them. And that's what Bud said. I seen the interview where Bud said that he was talking about Floyd. He was like, Floyd, he was basically saying, man, Floyd let Bob and them run that game on him, but he peeped game. Instead of him coming and telling us, man, look what Bob and them doing. Floyd just did what Bob and them doing to them. Did y'all see that interview where Bud said that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. You just basically specifics with them. It's one of those situations where it's like, if you had the power, what would you do? And it turns out he'd do the same thing.
He did the same thing to him. Ran the same game on him. So that's my pretty boy Money Mayweather and synopsis with that whole ordeal.
Can I say something?
Oscar did the same thing.
So I'm back, Clay.
Yeah, okay. Oscar did the same thing. You're right.
Can I say something?
It's cold out there.
Yeah. Go ahead, D. Go ahead, D.
I appreciate it, man. And again, I gotta say it like this: as a fan of boxing, and you become a fan of boxing, you get disillusioned by you never want to see your greatest fighters lose. That was Muhammad Ali. That was for me, Muhammad Ali. I could say Salvador Sanchez. I could say Chavez, De La Hoya, Mosley. I love Mosley so much, and Trinidad. I love all the greats. But when I look at Floyd, I always saw with that Manny Pacquiao fight, I always said Manny Pacquiao was going to beat Floyd. Well, I fucked up. Because at the end of the day, Floyd, now that I'm older, I could appreciate what he brought to the sport. I could appreciate what he brought to the game. He was truth. You know what I mean? Right. He was out there to say, hey, all you guys are backlashing me, all you guys trying to put me down, but guess what? I know I got a plan, and I got a backing. You know what I mean? And it's tough. Look what they did to Terrence Buck Crawford, man. That's fucked up. They denied him of greatness for so long. But like I always say, time always tells in boxing who is the greats and who are not. And Terrence Buck Crawford in July, he showed the whole world he was special. And he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Of course he will. And he belongs to be right there with Floyd and everybody else. Facts. And what I'm saying is, pretty boy, I'd rather be Devin Haney, pretty boy, Floyd, right now, coming up, doing your own pay-per-view events, having a good backing with the zone, having a good, manager, your dad, Eddie Hearn. There's more construction there. There's an actual base. There's actually something there for you to rely on that's going to help you and have your backing. And now the Saudis too. instead of Tank Davis, where he's the money, want to be the money Mayweather, where there's no really foundation there. His own coach went to jail. We don't know what's going to happen after that. He even said it in his own podcast. I still got this messy ass shit to happen to me. Tank Davis has his own issues. Money came to him so quick. I'd rather be Devin Haney right now at a young age, more younger than Tank Davis. I see Devin Haney being more special and being close. You can't say he's Floyd Mayweather, but he got trained by Floyd Mayweather's father also. So we got to respect that too. So being honest with you, Floyd Mayweather deserves his roses. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time, and I got nothing but respect.
Yeah, man. That's real talk, man. Richard Parrish said, I think Floyd gave the blueprint for both. There would be no Money Mayweather without Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy was a monster. Salute to Ross Clot. I don't know if he's ever Ross Clot. I don't know if you ever came up on panel or not, but salute to having you up here, man. Good to put a voice to the.
I was on here before. I cooked homeboy that sound like he young, but he older. I cooked him on that Wilder.
Oh, Frequent. Oh man, my brother. Okay. Yeah. What's up, brother?
I cooked Frequent.
What's good with you, man?
I'm playfully talking, by the way. Shout out to Frequent.
For sure. How you doing, brother? How you been?
Oh, I'm good. I just wanted to say, for me, I wanted to respond to brother who just spoke. For me, I think Floyd fought dudes at the right time, a lot of dudes at the right time. I think when he got in position to be the A side, I think he was choosing and fighting, picking his fights carefully, fighting dudes at the right time, draining dudes. He was doing all kind of things. And on top of that, he fought Manny Pacquiao well after Manny Pacquiao was done for. So right. I get it. A lot of people I like Pretty Boy Floyd. But when Floyd turned to a welterweight, to me, if he would have been staying at that Pretty Boy level at welterweight, for me, he would have been in my top 50, but he not even in my top 50. And that's just me. But if anybody got him in their top 50 or top 25, to each his own, man.
I hate it so much. But you got to bring him down there to the top 10 or top 12. And I hate him.
Why? Tell me why I got to do that.
No. I'm saying in my aspect is I hate him. I hated him at that time. But now that I've grown older, now I'm 42 years old. So I know that life always gives you a certain way where you start thinking and start opening up your eyes and you start seeing the greatness that was in front of you, but you didn't appreciate it because you had all the hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me,
Floyd,
yeah, right.
Floyd is 100% talented, but I'm just going on the fights. Like, he never fought as mandatory. He never became undisputed. Yeah. He picked and chose his opponents. I mean, he fought dudes who fit his style. Yeah. For me, like I said, he picked certain fighters that complemented his style, and of course he was going to win. I mean, I'll give an example. That when he fought Maidana, of course we all know that's a fading Floyd. I will say that, and I know that a younger Floyd would have boxed circles around it. But for him to have a fight like that and then purposely choose a new referee to make sure Maidana is not able to fight on the inside, that's not a great fighter to me. That's not a fighter making adjustments. That's not a fighter making adjustments.
What I'm saying is, one of the fights he hurt his hand in.
Are you talking about the Castillo fight?
No, I thought with Maidana too. I thought he hurt he fractured his hand again.
I don't even know. I don't believe anything Floyd says, so I don't know if he.
The first Maidana fight was controversial. The second one wasn't washed. And you're talking about adjustments here? Is that? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he picked a whole nother referee in that fight. He picked a whole nother referee. The referee didn't allow Maidana to fight on the inside.
Can I say something if it's all right? If it's all right with you guys? My bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much. That number. And like I said, Floyd Mayweather hater. I still got it in my heart a certain way. But he rusts in a good way now because of his career. What happened? And I could tell you, he ducked Margarito. He ducked Paul Williams. In my opinion, and not just that. I'm right there with you. I respect you, what you're saying. I say that all the time too, even back in the day. That he picked fighters whenever he wanted, at any time, what age. He brought up Ricky Hatton, to a certain way. Marquez, we already know that. But at the end of the day, we gotta respect them because everybody tried to go in there and do what they had to do, but there was no answer. You know what I mean? There was no answer. Maidana went in there just like Castillo. Same thing. I gave it to Castillo. Even HBO gave it to Castillo. But at the end of the day, we're here now. And I got to respect him even though I hate him. Facts.
Hey, to each his own, man. For me, I don't I don't want to respect him. But salute to you. If you do, salute to you. Shout out to you for that.
Definitely an
Yo,
entitlement.
shout out to that moment right there too, because that's what it's all about, man.
Right.
It's all about being able to respectfully agree to disagree, and I love that about the boxing space. That's how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
We supposed to be able to get it off our chest, say how we feel about it, and allow another person to disagree with him. Like, that's okay, bro. That's how I feel, bro. It's all good. You ain't got to feel the same way.
Floyd ain't in their top 50. Who was that?
No,
that's Young Bull Rod Squad.
He's entitled.
That's me.
Hold on.
He's not in my top.
Real quick.
Uh-oh.
Let me just make it clear on what he's saying is he's entitled to his opinion on that, and if he doesn't feel that way, he has that right. So let's not beat him up over what he feels on his top 50 or him being in his top 50. I
yeah, please don't beat me up.
No, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, man. You know what I mean. I'm just saying. No, not everybody jump on you and y'all have to debate on something. We don't, you know, what I mean, we don't want that over here.
I hope not.
But
I'm just a featherweight, man.
Yeah.
What
I'm trying to say is, at
back
the
it
end
up
of the day,
with information. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that you know, it depends on how you want to judge your top boxers. I mean, if you want to go all time, you want to go your time, you want to go. You know what I mean? That all plays a part. I believe that Floyd in my time, it took me a while. I'm just like him. I wasn't a fan of Floyd, especially Pretty Boy Floyd. I was a Diego Corrales fan, and I didn't like the fact that he beat him. You know what I mean? I wanted him to beat Manfredi. But he was on Thursday night fights. He was fighting like every other week. Like, believe it or not, Floyd was on a lot. He was fighting a lot. But then when he got up there, I wanted him to beat De La Hoya. I wanted him, you know what I mean? But then I wanted to see him lose after that a lot. And then and that was a Pretty Boy Floyd era. But then I was like, you know what? Once I seen what he was going through with HBO and Top Rank on ESPN, how they were criticizing, I started jumping on like, oh, you know what? I see what he's fighting for. Then I started understanding more and more of where he was coming from. Now, I'm not saying I agree like everything he did and how he moved on certain things, but he definitely made it into my top 10 of my time, my generation, I should say, or that generation. But as far as like all time, definitely not top 10. I could say maybe top 25, but not top 10. And as far as like me as a welterweight, yeah, he's definitely in the top 10 at that point in my generation. So that goes back to Sugar Ray. So because I didn't watch too many fights before that.
I also want to make it clear we've been up here for going on 3 hours, so we're about to go into our last statements. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate you guys showing out for me, coming out here building on this boxing. It was real good, but we're not going to do a marathon. We're going, you know what I mean? We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. You know what I'm trying to say? So
we respect you, my brother.
You act like you got to get up in the morning.
Listen, man, I ain't got to get up in the morning, but I got a wife upstairs in the bed. You know what I'm saying? That part. So are we gonna start?
All right, I see you. Time to go. See y'all later.
We're gonna go around the room and we're gonna let everybody get their statement in. You know what I'm saying? And that part. Let's start with the OG, man, with Uncle Rollo, man.
Yeah, my closing statement. I got Ortiz over. I got Tio over Ortiz, man, with about the 10th round stoppage, man.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna leave y'all with, man. Y'all remember I told y'all that.
No doubt, man.
Big Dre, man.
Oh yeah, guys, don't forget we're gonna be doing a live fight party. It's gonna be a little different than normal because we're actually gonna be commenting on the fight, right? Me and Ray. So we will open the panel, like probably some parts we'll open the panel up to talk about the fight, but we're gonna try our best to keep the information and the conversation on the fight that's happening. So just giving y'all the heads up. Go ahead, Big Dre. Short and simple, man. Get us up out of here, man. Get us out of here.
All right. As a fan of boxing, I say let's watch boxing anywhere and everywhere we can. You know, if it's live, if it's local, if it's on TV, if it's on pay-per-view, let's see if we can support the fighters. And the more people we get supporting the fighters, maybe the more cost effective it will be for some of us Social Security recipients. But and as far as Ortiz versus T.O., I'm gonna go for a split decision, and then I'm gonna give it to T.O.
Okay.
I think this fight's going the distance.
Okay. Sounds like a play. D-Block, how you feeling?
Man, I'm gonna tell you like this. Thank you so much, and I appreciate y'all, man. Next time y'all come live, I'm gonna be here, man. I got nothing but respect for y'all, and this is what I'm talking about. Nothing but respect for boxing. And you know what I hate though, man? And just give it out like this, and I'm gonna be truthful. What I hate is when they say belts don't matter. There's little kids right now in boxing, and they're winning amateurs. They're winning the little gold. They in there, they're winning trophies, and they got a young coach telling them, "You see that fighter right there, Sugar Ray Leonard? You see Muhammad Ali? You see the titles they had? You're going to be a champion one day." So when they ever tell you, and this is what I hate so much. This is what I hate about the Rise podcast. My bad. I gotta bring it out there because I got to bring it out, and I'm letting it go like that. When they put a Reggie belt right there, and they smiling with it, and they say to you, and to the fans of Baltimore, "Oh, belts don't matter." So why are you holding a Reggie belt? So I'm going to tell you like this. I got nothing but respect for you two right there, making the show great. And I promise you, I'm coming up here every time that my best that I can, and nothing but support. And you are one of the best podcasts that I've been in. I've been over 40 podcasts going in there. And I'm telling you right now, you are one of the great ones that I've been in. Nothing but respect. Claymore, Ray, D-Block, D-Camp, D-City, D-Ville, Baltimore. Thanks!
All right, D-Block. Appreciate it, brother. Really appreciate that. Real. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Last thoughts on the fight, or you want to just head off?
I mean, I think we have our thoughts on the fight. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm leaning towards T.O. still, you know what I'm saying? But I do think he has a lot of I think there's questions that need to be answered. I do like the way he was looking at the presser. I'm going in the direction of he's focused on a long career or a very telling career. He's focused on that, and I think he understands that the ingredients of that. I didn't hear him talking about money or that type of thing. You know what I mean? So I think he was talking in a way that makes me feel like he might be focused on this fight. So I'm going to lean towards T.O. to win this.
Right. I'm totally against that
decision. Right.
I believe I believe he has a shot to win. I believe that he still has capabilities of winning. I mean, it's his fight to lose. But I just, like I said, I see a hungry lion in there going against a hyena. I think we've seen Gordo come back for this Josh Taylor fight. I think Teal is focused to a point where he wants to box, but I think he's run into all his flaws. He's run into a guy that can use a jab. He's run into a guy that can move. He's run into like an athletic boxer like himself. There's a good and bad thing with an athletic boxer. They can run into stuff as well as keep you away. I think Jermaine Ortiz hits harder than T.O., and I think he's going to display some power. I think we start seeing T.O. getting a little confused in the later rounds as he sees he's not able to do things, and he gets frustrated. And I think that causes him to get the fight stopped because I think he gets a little wild with it. We've seen him with the shoulder bumps and his little flaws. We've seen him tell Regis to put his head down when going gets tough. I think we start seeing some of these dirty tactics. And I think that's going to lead to fouls and, like I said, frustration for him. On that note, hey, we might see him at 147 if he loses. We might see Gordo come back and try to get a rematch. We'll see. I think he's going to go for the Rolly side of the fence and try to take one of those belts, but over there. But we'll see what happens, man. I got Ortiz with a stoppage in the 8th round.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan to me, man. You guys tune in tomorrow. We'll be in covering the fight. Looking forward to seeing all you guys, man. But on that note, and at this point, it's your boy Rain. It's your boy Ray. We out.
They hate when you elevate, yeah. They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate.